Hi, everyone. Hello.
What's going on? What's the word?
I don't know. Let me turn this up in my earbuds here. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Comicsgate Live. Comicsgate Live, everyone. Great to be here. Great to be with you tonight, this beautiful Sunday evening. We got some stuff to discuss tonight. This is craziness. There's some craziness going on tonight, Donald.
Heck yeah.
We got some good stuff going on. What a great day. Spent the day antiquing today, out there looking at old toys. Almost bought a gas mask from World War I, but then people warned me about it. And they said, Ethan, if you inhale the gas mask, there is, what's in there? What do you think is in there left over from World War I? Do you think it's safe to breathe?
No,
I don't think so either. I don't think so either.
I wouldn't intend it at all.
No, what is it called? What's that stuff that you're no longer allowed to put in schools that you used to put in schools all the time?
I was on the tip of my tongue too. Asbestos?
Asbestos. That is right. Asbestos. No, not mustard gas. Not mustard gas. You used to be able to put mustard gas in schools. You can't really do that anymore. But people were telling me there's all. Somebody said pedos. Scott the artist said, yeah, you used to be able to put pedophiles in schools. We're cracking down on that now. We're cracking down on the pedophiles in schools. No, the answer is asbestos. I'm not worried about inhaling pedophiles from a 19 teens gas mask. I just thought it looked cool. I wanted to walk around wearing a gas mask around my town. I took a picture of it. I posted it. Lots of toys, lots of other weirdo stuff. I like antiquing. Some people say it's no, it's for chicks. It's not for chicks. Not when you can get World War I memorabilia. It's not for chicks at all. And also lots of cool movie props and stuff.
Yeah, or like a bayonet knife.
Yeah. Well, they had stuff like that. I was complaining about The Walking Dead the other night and how they went to the American History Museum in Washington, D.C. just to jack some fake Amish farm plows and things like that. They didn't need to do that. They could have gone to this antique shop. They had all kinds of stuff like that. It was crazy. It was really, really cool. So that was my day. Just doing stuff like that. Andrea's just like, thank you for spending the day with me. It's my pleasure. It was fun. Gojirified, thanks for $2. Looking for antique pie pans? No, I don't want the pan. Gojirify. I just want the pie. I tossed the pan out. Bring me pies. I didn't have a pie today, Donald. Don't worry about it. I know you're concerned. You're concerned about my weight. I understand that. I understand people who are concerned about my pie consumption. Don't be
for a long time, Ethan.
Yeah, I know. I know that. Everyone. Well, listen. Don't make pies so delicious. If that's what you're concerned about, stop making such good pies. This is pie season. I am controlling myself as much as possible, but listen. I am going to eat some pies. Congratulations, Donald. I'm really pleased with this right here. Brutus the badass. A bunch of SJW scumbags. I don't really mince words anymore, by the way. I don't know if you've noticed that.
That's good. You shouldn't with them.
No. I'm not here to mince words about SJWs at all. I will let you know SJWs are scumbags. And they said to me, first of all, they made a chart and they said, Ethan, how come it's basically Comicsgate is so top heavy. It's like if we were really to put up some of these, famous Comicsgate projects and Indiegogo campaigns on a chart out of order, it really looks like they go downhill with you first, Jawbreaker second, the other Richard C. What was the other? Iron Sights, and then Red Rooster. Well, it looks like a downward trajectory. And I said, well, you guys are a-holes. I mean, we always make $25,000 on the first issue every single time. And they said, except for Brutus the Badass. Right. And they showed me Brutus the Badass, which was sitting at $19,000. And I said, well, F you, effers. I said that, Donald. I said, F you, effers. I said, let me tell you something. Yeah, Donald has 3 more days. He's got 3 more days on Brutus the Badass. We're gonna get him up. I think we can do it. I think we can get him up to $25,000. I just need to open my mouth about it and promote it a little. You know, does help. D Scott Chaos Risen, $5. Last day for Brutus the Badass. Donald and Nasser live wet T-shirt contest. No, thank you. No, thank you.
You don't want to see me in a wet T-shirt.
Well, speak for yourself. I mean, some people might. Some people might. Yeah, people are saying now we call them NPCs. That means non-playable character.
Yeah, they seem to love it.
Well, it's catching on. People are kind of going, yeah, I can kind of relate to non-playable character a little bit more than I can relate to social justice warrior. You know, what do you think? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go Jurified, thanks for $2. Antique pies are just another name for cougar pies.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, watch out for those cougars. Matthew Hopkins. By the way, I grew up in well, I didn't grow up there, but the first 5 years of my life were spent in Provo, Utah, right near Brigham Young University. And their football team is the Cougars. It's the Cougars. Are they going to change that?
Is it a bunch of hot old women?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's what that brings to mind now. You want to change your team, Brigham Young University, from the Cougars? My mom used to sing this to me when I was a kid, their cheer song. It goes, rise and shout, the Cougars are out. Jesus. You know, point me in that direction. Matthew Hopkins, thanks for $4.99. Brutus hits 25K. Wendig gets canned, and Wade asks for an extension. Renfamous offers to be a mouthpiece for SJW's big weekend for Comicsgate. You just summed up tonight's entire show, Matthew Hopkins. Thank you so much for that. Absolutely spectacular. So anyway, these people said, I said, look, of course it's gonna get to 25,000 and past that. It's definitely gonna get to 25,000. That's where we are right now. Any project that Comicsgate aligns itself with, Comicsgate, is going to earn $25,000 on the first issue. Red User 1, thanks for $2. Uncle E, always a pleasure to hear your voice. Red User, it's always nice to have you here. Great Loner, $2. Here's something to trigger RENPC as she watches. RenPC. I like that. RenPC. Rory Butcher, thanks for $4.99. NPC makes more sense than SJW. Love what you do. Thanks. Dark Man McEdgeface, thanks for $4.99. Once the first books make it to backers, the numbers will definitely go up. Once the regular, on the regular, once you prove you can get the product to market. Well, of course. Ian Howe, thanks for $4.99. I Amazoned up a copy of One Dirty Tree. Looking forward to having a second Van Sciver in my day. You'll enjoy that. Very sad story of my childhood, as seen through the eyes of my 10-year-old. Well, no, not 10-year-old. He's 10 years different from me, little brother. Anyway, Brutus the Badass #1. Boom. 6 hours left to go. $26,400. Oh, Comicsgate never lets us down. Just never lets us down.
Yeah, they really stepped up to the plate.
They did. And, this is great. They humiliated the NPCs who said this wouldn't happen. I don't know, made me look cool. Appreciate that. Thank you for making me look cool. I think with 6 hours left to go, it's quite possible that this will get to 30,000. I don't want to push it. I'm quite happy with this. But this is substantial. What you need to understand is, for a first issue, the profit margin for this book is substantial. It's what the pros make. Now, it's not way above and beyond what the professionals make. The profit margin on this is what the professionals make, and I'm talking about at Marvel and DC. So this is quite a big deal. It is quite a big deal. You guys did this. You made this happen. So appreciate you. Ned Brightweiser, $1.99. Red Rooster would be Brutus. Red Rooster would be Brutus. Oh, what do you mean? What do they mean by that? Do you know?
Do they mean that Red Rooster would beat Brutus?
Red Rooster would be Brutus. I'm not sure. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much for this. This is just great news, everyone. Absolutely terrific.
I'm floored. I'm ecstatic about it.
And you should be. This is phenomenal. Great work. Just great work. You guys are the best. And we got Critias in here. Welcome, Critias.
Hi, Davius. How's everything?
What's up, Chris?
It's good. Everything is really, really good. I started a little bit earlier today,
Cool.
and just thought it would be a good idea. It's Sunday evening. Everybody is excited by the change in weather, I think.
Yeah.
The fact that it is now autumny. It's autumnal.
What's your infatuation with these dolls I saw earlier?
The dolls?
Yeah.
What dolls?
The,
From the... I took pictures of dolls at the antique fair, the antique mall. Yeah, creepy as hell. These are dolls from the 1930s. I'm like, these are unlovable. No child can love these dolls. These are terrifying.
You know what you do with those though?
What do you do with them?
And then you buy them without your wife knowing, and then you play tricks on her. You put one at the foot of the bed. When she wakes up, there's no idea how it got there. And then when she throws it away, you put it back there again.
Yeah.
Well, I had a similar experience when I was a kid. You know, my sister had this doll, and we put it in the dresser, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and it was staring at me. So I turned the head, and I went back to sleep, and I woke up again, and it was staring at me again. And we got rid of the doll.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lady Alchemy, Martina Marcota.
Hi there, Martina.
Can't hear you. We can look at you, but we can't hear you. Oh, I see. Yeah, turn on your mic. Just like Gail Simone. Unlovable. I went there, says Eric M. Boyd. That is terrible. Absolutely terrible.
How you doing, Nick?
Hey, good. How are you?
All right.
Hey, Ethan.
Yo.
Can I say something real quick, just so that Nasser will stop bugging me in DMs?
Yeah.
He said that the person that he had blocked that was in the new chat room is now unblocked. He wants me to tell you that. He wants me to make sure that I tell you that on stream so that he can hear it. and now that I've done that, I'm going to go mute him.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right, cool.
It's very cool. Welcome. Good to have you here. I don't know what's going on. There's a little extra drama here. Little extra drama going on.
He's just crying because he wasn't invited. He wasn't allowed in the new chat room because there was a blocking issue. We found out that he was the one blocking somebody.
Okay, well, this is stuff we can discuss off the air. To discuss it in front of 890 people and tell Nasser to be quiet. Nick Ricada, how are you?
Good, man. What's going on?
Well, I'm glad that you're here. The reason why I asked you to be here today is that something kind of substantial happened. Now, for those in the chat who aren't aware yet, of course, there is a lawsuit pending. There's an incredible lawsuit between Diversity in Comics, aka Zach, your boy Zach, aka Richard C. Meyer. Now, just to get everybody up to speed, Richard C. Meyer had a contract, a verbal agreement, if not a written contract, but I think that it doesn't really matter, with Antarctic Press to publish and distribute Jawbreakers, #1, Jawbreakers Lost Souls, to the point where, of course, Antarctic Press actually said, we're excited to be in business, et cetera, et cetera. One Mark Wade, an irrelevant passerby, an irrelevant spectator to this transaction, decided to get involved and actually called and spoke to and threatened, I would say. I would use the word threatened. I use it advisedly. I advise myself to use it. Threatened the publisher of Antarctic Press that he would be ostracized, he would be tortured, he would be belittled, I don't know what, whatever would happen, whatever these people can do, whatever these NPCs can do to you, that's what was going to happen to Antarctic Press should they publish Diversity in Comics, Jawbreakers Lost Souls. Now, this is illegal, is it not?
Torturous interference, right?
Yeah, basically. It's there's potentially some defamation sprinkled in there. That really depends on what he said. But yeah, tortious interference with a contract is anytime you have no business making statements to someone, you know about the contract that they have, you intend to disrupt the contract, you make the statements, you do disrupt the contract, and then it causes damage. And you don't have to be the only factor. That's something that certain people seem to have confused. You don't have to be the only cause of the contract breaking down. You just have to be a cause of the contract breaking down because you have no business doing it.
Right. So, in any case, Mark Waid, I think, was not expecting to be sued for this at all. I think he thought he could kind of get away with it because lawsuits are very, very expensive. But Zach decided that it was his obligation to go ahead and sue Mark Waid for this. It did cost him potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars, and good on him. He invested a lot of money in this lawsuit. Mark Waid responded by announcing that he was going to be represented by some guy who sued Libya. I know I'm speaking kind of loosely here, Nick. I'm not Jamal Igle. I'm not standing by any of these phrases or words that I use. I'm just kind of speaking loosely. A fellow by the name of Mark S. Zaid, which was incredible. A sinister super lawyer named Mark S. Zaid. Turns out that Mark Waid is kryptonite to super lawyers. What happened?
We don't know exactly what happened, but we do know that Mark Zaid is no longer representing Mark Waid. From my experience, I would suggest that Waid stopped hiring Zaid, probably not the other way around. Lawyers don't tend to fire clients unless they just really have no ability to pay. And I would suggest that that Waid either decided that Zaid was not providing the representation he wants, maybe because Zaid suggested he settle, or he got the bill from Zaid for what it would cost to go past negotiations and to go to a full trial, which has to be astronomical.
It would be incredibly pricey. Now, from what we know, Mark S. Zaid is the type of classy lawyer who brags about what he makes or what he bills his clients on Twitter. And somebody actually said, hey, this lawyer was charging $725 an hour. And Mark S. Zaid responded by saying, I bill more than that per hour. So one can guess that he is billing somewhere above $725, maybe $750 an hour plus. This is a lot of money. This is a lot of money for somebody to spend defending themselves from your boy Zach. But believe me, it's worth every penny. Now, I don't think Mark Waid has that kind of money.
No, and to put it in perspective, what a trial in this type of situation would cost with a lawyer like Mark Zaid. I mean, you have to budget at a minimum $75,000 in legal fees. And that's a minimum. You got to remember, this guy's in Washington, D.C. That means for any hearings that he's required to be present, he will have to fly to Texas. For any depositions of the Antarctic Press guys or even Meyer or his associates, those depositions will be done wherever is convenient for them. So Antarctic Press is located, I believe, like in San Antonio or something like that. So that would require either Zaid to fly out to do the deposition or him to subcontract co-counsel to do that deposition at a probably pretty high hourly rate, since they'd just be doing a deposition and nothing else. This stuff gets really, really expensive, and these lawsuits take a really long time. And 75 grand is only 100 hours of work. That's not that much if we're saying he makes at least $750 an hour, which I don't think is unreasonable to assume based on his statements and based, just judging by how much time it would take to do this trial. 100 hours of work is probably on the low end.
That's a lot. Somebody in the chat is suggesting that Mark look for Mark Quaid, attorney at law, next to Mark Quaid, one of Randy Quaid's, and who's the other Quaid? Dennis Quaid, their brother, attorney at law. That would be great. Yeah, I suspect this as well, and you can let me know, Nick, if my legal expertise or instincts rivals my peers in the comic book industry. I suspect that any lawyer that Mark Waid speaks to is going to tell him, "You idiot, settle this as quickly as possible."
I think so. Well, here, let me preface that with, and this may be why it took him so long to find a new lawyer in the first place, is he's probably going in and telling them his side of the story. As a lawyer, you get that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to ask very carefully and politely, okay, now what's the rest of it? Tell me all the bad stuff. I get that you're a super nice white knight superhero, Mark Waid, who's defending the weak from the evil of Richard Meyer. But what what else is going on here? And then once that info starts to come in, or perhaps once Meyer's lawyer starts mailing stuff to him and talking about the other stuff, he says, okay, maybe we need to consider settling, because here are the factors for tortious interference. And even if they are not going to beat us, because he's definitely going to hype himself up a little bit, I think I can beat this claim, but it's going to be a tough one. And then I think what happens is he says, you know, I'm going to have that money up front, because I can't fight a lawsuit for you for a year on the promise to get paid.
Yeah. So probably Mark Waid. And the other thing I would say is that Mark Waid would probably not be keen on settling. This is a tricky situation for him. I mean, just in terms of, in a social sense, he can't show his face in this town again if he settles. He needs to actually, I mean, at this point, he is going to, if I were Mark Waid, God help me, I think my whole attitude right now would be, how long can I stretch this out? How long can I afford to fight the inevitable? And how do I come out of here saving as much face as possible? That is not settling. That settling is not the key to that situation. That's not the answer.
Yeah. And that's when you have that's why you hire an attorney, because an attorney is going to say, Mark, buddy, I get it, but you're done. Like if you lose this case, you've got to pay me. You've got to pay him. We've got to estimate Meyer's damages conservatively at $100,000 plus. I don't think there's any way to argue.
Bitch. 6 figures, bitch. Hashtag 6 figures. Yeah, I agree. I would love to hashtag 6 figures, bitch, this lawsuit. We got to do that. We got to make that happen. Let me introduce everybody in the chat to people, everybody on the panel to the people in the chat. First of all, we have Critias of Detective Dead. Critias, how are you tonight?
I'm all right. How's everybody doing?
Good. And we used to have Donald DeLay, but he just left. Antonio Bryce, how are you, my co-host friend?
I am doing fantastic. Just finished up with Uncle Hotep's broadcast, and I popped right over. So,
I appreciate that. Martina Marcota, Tippy Tail McKitty says, please keep the screen locked on Martina. All right, here you go. Martina Marcota, how are you tonight?
I'm good. I'm good. I mean, this is all really interesting stuff, because before I got on the chat, I was furiously trying to see if I can retrieve old text messages from an old phone. And I'm such a boomer, I don't back up anything. Because of this case, I was like, hey, maybe I have a case with the people that ruined my career, and I have proof of my agent saying, people are saying, these girls are saying you're a Nazi and like all this stuff. And I'm like, we got to keep fighting and pushing our side and saying, showing the left, they can't do this to us anymore.
Well, Martina, I want to ask you about that, but first, before I do, I'm going to tell the chat. We got 1,195 people, 1,195 people. I'm so bad at saying numbers. I don't know why I'm like that. 1,195 people watching right now. Martina Marcota is the creator and writer of a comic book called Lady Alchemy, and Lady Alchemy is Comicsgate down to its marrow, down to its bones. Lady Alchemy is pretty kick-ass. We've looked over it before. It looks like, you know what, the artwork reminds me of not J.G. Jones. Who's the other artist? Like J.H. Williams. That's it. J.H. Williams artwork style. Really, really good stuff. We put the link in the description already. If you guys have not backed, maybe I'll show it. You guys,
sure. You guys should check out the video on the Indiegogo link too. A lot of people are like, oh, the video is awesome. So it really gives you a sample of what the comic's about and the artwork in it.
I'm going to tear the chat's eyes away from you for a minute, and I'm going to put on your campaign just so they get a look at it. This is Lady Alchemy, the graphic novel. Now, Lady Alchemy is a character that you portrayed and I was struggling. Martina, I was raised Mormon. Okay. I was like, what burlesque? I was looking for the word burlesque the other day, trying to describe the kind of dance that you do.
Yeah.
And I finally, the chat helped me with it. So burlesque. Lady Alchemy is a character that you portrayed as a burlesque dancer. Now, what happened to you at this place?
Yeah, so I mean, I called myself a performance artist, but I know that's a little vague for most people. So I was definitely in the burlesque scene, and these girls are just like the typical, you know, feminist, super SJW type people. And I did for 10 years. I was successful. It was my career. I lived in New York City on my own, lived well. And they found out that I like Trump and that I'm not one of them. And they just made it their mission to destroy my life. Up to this day, I mean, I still have crazy performers trying to make sure they can ruin my life. I got fired from the theater I worked at. My agent dropped me. They were actively blacklisting me, making sure my reputation was over, making there's videos on YouTube where it's like propaganda that they're just piecing things together. Me on Gavin McGinnis's show, and then showing, you know, making these weird connections and making it seem like, see, she's a Nazi. It's like absolutely absurd. You know, Gavin saying inappropriate things, but then zooming in on my face to make it seem like I'm responsible for what Gavin says. Okay. And so they actively just like ruined my career, which is why I find this whole thing with Richard really fascinating. And you know, I probably don't have the resources that Richard does and all that, but it's important that he takes that step and fight the left, because they've been doing this to a lot of us, you know, trying to ruin our careers, ruin our life. And I think it's important that we show them that they can't do that. They feel fully vindicated and feel like they can do this, and that it's completely acceptable because they're fighting an enemy. So they can be really, really vile. And it's important that we show them they can't do that. But yeah, I don't perform anymore. My career got ruined. So now I have Lady Alchemy, the comic book, which gives Lady Alchemy life again.
I love that. That's great news. Those of you who are looking at the screen right now and checking this out, I mean, you got to admit, this looks like pretty prime J.H. Williams artwork. The character is cool. You know, you've heard Martina's story. Oh my God, look, I love this right here. This makes me so happy that you included this.
Yeah, there's a lot of that symbolism. The one above it, that's the apple, you know, apple, and it has the serpent. So you see the symbolism there with apple and being a little demonic. Yeah, the Marina Abramovic, give in, plug in. It's like technology. So they turn into the demons. So the Marina, if you scroll down a little bit, that one has all these advertisements kind of come to life and have a demonic character that they represent, whether it's technology or the Marina Abramovic demonic character and stuff like that. So
now, would you call Lady Alchemy a demonic character? There are some Christians in the chat. They're a little worried. Are they going to be okay buying this comic?
No, it's fine. See, I was just talking about it on my stream a few hours ago. And as you guys may have heard, there's like some witches putting a hex on Kavanaugh and stuff like that. And they did the same thing for Trump. And I say, yeah, that's what they're working on right now. And you should see it. They look really pathetic. They look like no offense to Dungeons and Dragons people, but they look like just like weird Dungeons and Dragons-y kind of weirdos. And no offense to that, you know, some of them are really cool people. I mean, not cool, but like good people at heart. And so I don't mean to put that on them. But so you know, when they did that to Trump, I did my protection spell. And then I made the same statement with the Kavanaugh thing. And I got people being like, oh, and you call yourself a Catholic, and getting all mad. And I'm trying to explain, no, man, like mass is a ritual, you know. There's just so many, prayer is the same thing as a spell. Like there's so many overlaps with mysticism, with the Catholic faith, that it isn't all like weird satanic stuff that you see in the movies. It's actually pretty similar. You know, church and the Catholic faith, it is a form of mysticism. So
I just like the variety and conservatism. Who's making me echo right now? I mean, I love the sound of my own voice, but not that much. Who's doing that? All right, look at this. Indiegogo's Lady Alchemy campaign right now, $16,391. Guys, the link is in the description. Support this project. Support Martina. This is another thing. We have standards around here. We want to see these projects succeed. You guys can do it. You guys can back this book right now. You're meeting Martina. I'll give you a chance to ask her any questions that you want to ask her, and all of that stuff. But absolutely support Lady Alchemy. It's vital. Nick, what do you think of what she has to say? I mean, from a legal standpoint, is there any way? I mean, is there anything that we can do to fight back, to push back against this kind of abuse?
Well, I'm starting to think that tortious interference might be a good weapon in the short term. It's difficult to prove. It's not an easy case. Not everybody is as overt as Wade in announcing everything he wants to do. And then proudly boasting about his virtue for the next day on Twitter before nuking it. So it's not always so simple to prove, but if you can find individuals, I'm going to be doing a video tonight actually because your best friend and alter ego Vox Day is talking about tortious interference, potentially
in terms of what?
Well, Jason Youngbluth has claimed credit for Alt Hero Q being taken off of.
Oh my
Indiegogo.
God, that's great!
Wow.
So,
Genius.
Oh, I love it.
Is he really?
yeah, he's claiming it, and there's some interesting possibilities with a bunch of weird timing that happened centered around our debate and around that article with Vox that Bleeding Cool did, and then the book being taken down, the article being taken down, and the next day. This all happened in like a 3-day period, but I don't know if you know this, Ethan, but back when Jason first asked me to do the debate with you was when Bleeding Cool did the interview with Vox Day, and then they sat on it until after our interview.
Yeah, it was all very carefully coordinated. Yeah, it was. And then, it's funny. It's like Bleeding Cool planned this out very carefully. We're going to do an interview with Vox Day. And then here's what we're going to do afterwards. We're going to apologize. Now, imagine how devastating this would be. If they said, hey, Ethan, we're going to do an interview with you, put out an article, and then they put out an article, and then they were able to passive aggressively apologize to their readership for running an article with an interview with me, making me seem like a normal person when I'm a bigot. Think of the evil of that. We actually cannot. We can't even play around. We cannot give them anything we want. We can't play ball with them. Their motives are all suspect. These people all just want to destroy us, and they have evil little schemes in mind. So, I mean, that's an amazing thing to be like, yeah, we made a mistake by giving this guy a platform. We don't support hatred and evil and bigotry. And so, yeah, we've removed the article. And we apologize to our readership. Nick, that is malevolent.
Yeah, that's disgusting. It lacks any sort of journalistic integrity. I mean, you do an article with someone, you do an interview, they give you their time, and anyone who's seen that article knows that Vox gave them infinite amounts of time. I mean, it's a substantial piece. And then he doesn't come across, from what I understand, he doesn't come across as horrible as they portray him. And so then to go on and say, well, actually, no, he didn't come across bad enough. So we're going to pull this it's a low move. But it'll be interesting to see what Vox does. Vox has a lot of resources. So I
don't know if he has resources. Fox overstates himself.
Well, taking him at face value, Vox probably has more resources than a Jason Youngbluth or a Bleeding Cool to pursue a lawsuit. And if he wants to pursue tortious interference, it'll be interesting what he could find against someone like that. But it's interesting. So I'm going to be talking about that tonight, but I'd like to ask Martina a question if I can.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Martina, so did you find a lot of the sort of lefty nonsense prior to all of this happening with Trump? I ask because my aunt and uncle own a burlesque house down in Dallas, and I proposed a live show of a different sort, just using the venue, not really a burlesque show or anything. And it involved a right-leaning speaker, and they had to clear it with their communist business partner. And that's exactly how it was phrased. So did you run into that a lot?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty prevalent out there. It was going on for years. I mean, I thought I was the only conservative out there in the world at the time in New York City in the burlesque scene. And yeah, for example, even after I was outed and blacklisted, there was a lady who absolutely loved me. She's a belly dancing coach, and she wanted to put on a show. She said, I need Lady Alchemy. I need Lady Alchemy. And I said, hey, I know this venue. I know they do these burlesque shows there. I don't think they're going to have me. I'm too poisonous. You don't want me. She said, I don't care. I want you. What are they going to do? Turn your music off? I said, okay, fine. If you want me, then I'll do it. Sure enough, a day or two before the show, she submitted the roster and I'm on it. She gets an email saying pretty much that you need to replace Lady Alchemy or your show's canceled. She's a racist and
wow.
That. So yeah, it's definitely
just throwing away money. That's what I'll never understand. These people just throw away money. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we really do. When I say that we need to build our own platform for everything, I mean that. We cannot coexist with these people. They refuse to play fair. This is all over Trump. The amazing thing about this is, I remember the day after Trump won, everybody was quoting something. I can't remember what this is. Nick, maybe you're well read. They said, yeah, you may have won, but we're going to make you choke on your victory. Now, what is that? Yeah. So we're going to make you choke on your victory. And they've been doing that ever since. I mean, they have become super toxic maniacs, weirdos, who want to destroy anyone who supported the president. And this is why we really have no choice. We really do have to create our own foundation for everything that we do. And we've been talking about that.
Yeah, I agree. And that's kind of what I want to do with my comic too. You'll see it in my manifesto on the Indiegogo. And I don't mean to pull a Vox Day or anything. I'm not trying to do anything shady, but after my experience, and I haven't seen too much about the arts on the right. That's why I was so excited about Comicsgate, was because I was finally people that kind of get me, because they just thought I was a weird artist girl. What? This doesn't make sense in the political pundit world. And I put in the Indiegogo that, why I want to raise keep it going and raise more and more and more is not just so I can, take it to the bank and live, well, it's because I want to reinvest that money and I want to do live performances again. I want to put on shows. I want to make magazines. I want to have something for our side on the right where you can't deplatform us, because you know what? I own it. So that's kind of why I want to raise all this money.
Yeah, and also I just think that Lady Alchemy looks like a pretty cool graphic novel. There should probably be a series of them. And we really do need to, as creative people, chronicle what's going on right now in the world through our work. I mean, I don't know how, Cyberfrog is kind of an attempt to do that. I talked to my wife about it and I was just like, look, Cyberfrog is kind of me, and these characters they represent people that I know and love. This is, I need to chronicle this. I need to document what's going on in the world right now. They used to do that. Creative people used to write books that became kind of creative, colorful records, that provide a deeper understanding of the world that these people lived in at the time. That is our job. Otherwise, I don't know, what does the left have to say that is actually honest and substantial and worthwhile about what they're going through right now? I don't think they have anything honest to say about it. Kids in cages, whatever it is, fascism, ridiculous. We actually have, we're the ones who actually have the obligation to document this through art. We have to. So that is it's another thing that Comicsgate is going to kind of do with our books. From our perspective, these books are going to be, the creators who suffered during this time period. I mean, it's almost like the Twilight Zone and all the blacklisted writers of that period getting together and, telling their little stories, telling little morality fables through their work. I think in a way that's our obligation. I don't want these books to ever be political or partisan. But I don't mind the idea of them being morality fables. And obviously that's a little bit of what Lady Alchemy is for you. As I look at the artwork that's here, it's a little bit about what you're going through.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be what I'm going through, and it'll be in a symbolic form. It won't be as blatant as the left does things, like orange man bad, like it's not going to be so obvious. I mean, a lot of the times my artwork does have these deeper meanings and symbolizes what I'm going through, but people don't have to know it. They can enjoy the artwork and enjoy the story, and I'm sure a leftist can look at my book and not know who I am and my story and enjoy it without it being like, oh, this is so obviously such right-wing things. But if a right-winger that knows my story, knows what I've been through, reads the book, they go, I get it. I get what she did there.
Carrie Dalton in the chat just says, hate to say, but we need to create our own spaces, buy property, start building our own clubs, stages, etc. Take a page from the 20s through the 50s civil rights era. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Hollywood during the golden age was Republican. So, it's doable. Let's just do it again.
It is doable. Let's do it. We need Nick Rekieta to handle all of our legal questions about this, though.
Yeah, sounds good.
We're going to definitely put you to use. Thank you. By the way, Lady Alchemy is selling tons of comics, up to $16,640, guys. Thank you for the support.
Thank you so much. It really means a lot.
I'm half
Gamer, by the way, hold on a second. Just whenever somebody does this, they immediately halt the show, and we have to pay attention to them. GOP Gamer, thanks for $100 super chat. Hi, Ethan. Please invite Stephen Hart, the creator of Asami Children of Rusu, on your show. I've backed every Comicsgate Indiegogo, but of all the great Comicsgate books that have yet to be funded, Asami is the one I'm most looking forward to. He is in the chat now. Thanks, Ethan. Well, GOP Gamer, you just bought him a spot. So let me go send him a message right now and let him in. What do you think of that? Is that a good idea?
Yeah,
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Capitalism at work.
Well, we need to support some of these other, campaigns here as well.
Yeah, I was talking about that with John Delarose on Friday. I had an interview with him and just trying to relay to people that we as consumers have a duty to go outside of this show to find creators, because sure, it's great to get on Comicsgate Live and get in front of this audience, but there are other people who align with the movement that just, there's no way that all of them can get on, can get exposure here. There's no way to do that. There's just not enough time. So finding these guys, promoting them on our own and in different ways is a good thing to do. Because get art in front of people who want to see it and buy it. Because you were talking about art being kind of the language that we get to speak, Ethan. I think that's true. Historians write history books, but artists tell the story of history, and art is a lot harder to wipe out than it is to just rewrite the history from the victor's perspective, right? You've got artists all throughout history telling the counter narrative. And right now, if freedom is on the ropes, if conservatism or whatever I guess ethos you have is on the ropes, for me, it's just simply freedom of speech, freedom of expression. If that's not there in the main narrative, then we have a duty to do it through art.
That is absolutely correct. That is our job. Oh, somebody's noticing the Beach Boys thing on the wall. Yeah, that's Pet Sounds, the greatest album of all time, signed by Brian Wilson. Thank you. Like, I've met him like twice, and it was just like, I was terrified. Okay, let me go on to something else here. I want to show you guys what is going on in this insane world of mainstream comics. This is Bounding Into Comics, one of the few non-garbage tier websites on the web. This was hilarious. I found this morning. People send me stuff, and I think I need to pay more attention to what people send me, because this just killed me. I'm so glad I get to see the face of the guy who did this, because he looks like mommy's little darling, and I'm so excited about it. Comicbook.com, which is a website that I go to all the time for Star Wars news, fake Star Wars news. Writer Chase Magnet Chase Magnet, what a great name. Threatens consequences after Marvel fired Chuck Wendig. Martina, are you aware of this? Do you know who Chuck Wendig is?
Yeah, I was paying attention a little bit and I talked about it a little today. I mean, hey, they just felt a little bit of what we've been feeling and they're crying out loud so much about it.
It's crazy. I'm like, what is the big deal about firing Chuck? I was telling my wife again, I went out today for dinner with her and I'm on the way home. I'm like, I didn't know Chuck Wendig was so very, very tied in. I didn't know that he was so important. But every now and then you find one of their agents, you find one of their implants. And I didn't realize this. I didn't realize a year ago, I had no idea about the culture war. Jude Terror from formerly of Bleeding Cool. We used to be friends and we were talking about it. And he's like, it's all the culture war. We have people who we kind of, are in spots where they need to be, spots of influence, and they need to stay there. He was talking about Aubrey Sitterson on G.I. Joe. We have a communist writing G.I. Joe. You think we want to see him get fired? No, we want him to keep fucking up G.I. Joe. That's the whole point. And they talk about it that openly, like that. So you've got Chuck Wendig, who was writing Darth Vader and Star Wars books, post Return of the Jedi Star Wars stories. And he's out there on the internet bashing Trump, bashing Republicans every single day, saying the weirdest, most hostile stuff until finally he had to go. I mean, he just had to go. Disney couldn't allow him to represent the brand anymore. And I have never seen so many people, so many rather large names. By the way, let me do this article first. Stand up and oppose this and shout about this. This is Chuck Wendig. It's a little soy mouth here. This is a minor soy mouth. It gets bigger. The soy mouth actually stretches like down to here sometimes. You've seen pictures of him like that. Comic book professionals throw support behind Chuck Wendig after Marvel fired him. Star Wars novelist and Marvel comic book writer Chuck Wendig was fired from the company on Friday after repeated attacks against Disney, Marvel, Star Wars fans, and consumers. While Wendig would try to paint himself as a victim, he repeatedly attacked fans, calling them all sorts of nasty names like callous necks, prolapsed assholes. I edit my own curses, Martina. You're a lady. You don't need to hear this. Grotesque monsters, racists, rapists, wretched abusers. By the way, somebody sang all this to These Are My Favorite Things by what's that from Sound of Music? Callous necks and grotesque monsters, racists and rapists and wretched abusers. It was pretty funny. The way he fit it in, it really, really worked. He would even call for violence against Trump supporters, stating they can eat a boot covered in now, is that violent really? Well, I guess it is if you're forcing them to eat a boot covered in poop. I don't know. Comic book professionals, including his former Marvel colleagues, have thrown their support behind Wendig and disagree with Marvel's decision to fire the man who threatened violence on the people who purchased their products as well. Charles Soule, I went gambling with him once. Shame on you. Hey, Chuck Wendig, you're delightful. What the hell? A great writer, and I hope today is better than yesterday. By the way, when I was playing, I swear to God, Charles, we're playing blackjack. It's me and Charles and what's his name? The Batman writer that everyone loves.
Scott Snyder.
Scott Snyder. Yeah, we're all out playing blackjack. Scott didn't bring any money. Charles just started emptying his wallet for Scott. You need more money? Here you go. I've never seen anything like it. Scott lost all of the money. He lost every dime that Charles gave him. And I think I made $3,800 that night at blackjack. Thank you. Sweet. I'm magical, though. This whole thing puts me in mind of the second thing Obi-Wan says to Vader during their fight in A New Hope. You mean eat a boot covered in shit? Oh, he didn't say that, did he? Which you will know, obviously, looking it up. Paul Cornell, shame on you. Well said, Charles. Shame on you. Joe Hill, son of Stephen King, wearing a Beatle wig. Hey, Marvel, Walt Disney, you want to work with creators who have vision and imagination? Better accept they may also be fucking crazy. When the trolls persuade you to fire James Gunn with his weird pedophile comments or Chuck Wendig, they lose, you lose, your audience loses. We're fine, Joe. We're fine. We're fine. Which is not to say that Chuck Wendig has anything to apologize for his tweets either. Personally, I think social media is arsenic for the soul and poison, absolute poison for society. But at least most of Chuck's posts are funny and compassionate. What's wrong with that? Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
See? Just see who we're looking at now. My God, can I read this? Do I have to read this? Jamal Igle, the Igle of Dr. Moreau. Well, it was indeed Marvel's call to make. It was a bad call. This was not how you respond to a harassment campaign.
See, based on Jamal's track record, I have to conclude the exact opposite, that this was the only call they could make, but they weren't able to make it. And this is exactly how you respond to a harassment campaign.
Yeah.
Everything
well, I mean,
is wrong.
That's exactly correct. This is the opposite. Go the 180-degree direction of everything Jamal says if you wish to succeed and retain any sense of morality or ethics. That is true. What harassment campaign? Chuck Wendig is constantly on Twitter saying crazy things about Republicans. Half of the country. I don't know, if there are a couple of people who are bothering him online, well, then direct your anger at those couple of people. You're not doing that. You're talking about racists and rapists and wretched abusers, people who support Kavanaugh's appointment. F you, and F you, Jamal, by the way. F you. Fulfill your Kickstarters. Jerry Conway. Oh, good Lord. Well, unless Chuck totally screwed up deadlines, doubtful, or refused to take editorial direction, also doubtful, this is a very disheartening move by Marvel. And yet, you guys are first in line to persecute anyone who stands up and says, I'm a Trump supporter. So anyone who wears a MAGA hat is going to be demonized and pushed out of comics. Gail Simone. It's just, you know what? Nick, it's the same people. It's the same people over and over again, isn't it? It's the same people.
I mean, I get isn't Brad Meltzer like? Am I thinking of the wrong guy? I thought he wasn't an idiot. Is it a different Brad Meltzer?
No, it's him. It's him. Brad Meltzer. Hey, Chuck Wendig, I hope you know you're not alone. Not in this community. We look out for our own. What does that mean? Always will?
No, they don't.
It means while you're in the employment line, we'll be here making money.
No, but what does he mean by our own? What is our own?
Oh, NPCs.
Is
Cups,
I guess
maybe.
Yeah, I'm not there. Donald is not their own. Martina is not their own. We're not. I thought we were all no. Oh, you mean as NPCs? You mean SPWs?
I thought that this guy. I thought Meltzer was right leaning. Like, wasn't he on Glenn Beck and stuff? Or am I thinking of someone else?
No, that's him. But he's never been. He's always been a liberal. He's always been a liberal.
Weird.
Yeah. But he had a show about conspiracies, on the History Channel for a little while.
Yeah.
I mean, I've met Brad. I know Brad. I'm on his mailing list. I think I get Christmas cards from him, and he autographed my copy of Crisis, whatever that was that he wrote with Rags. I can't. My memory is going in my old age. What was that book that he wrote with the who cares? David Slack. I don't know who this is. Wonderful writer and human. Chuck Wendig got fired by Marvel for tweeting about politics. If you think that's BS, buy one of his books. I know he'll enjoy them. Well, listen, that's fairly mild there. I don't know who this person is. Simon Spurrier. Don't know who you are. A little rumor control here. I work and know as much as you regarding the Chuck situation. I love his work and I'm very sad we won't see it. All right, that's fine. Mad props to Chuck Wendig and Comicsgate. Fuck us. What did we do? And anyone who facilitates them. Mark Russell, who with his green glasses here, he says F us because I guess are we the consequences? Are we who did this to Chuck Wendig? I mean, that's an interesting thing. David Simon from The Wire, in solidarity. Just understand how deep this goes. You're looking at the culture war right now. You're looking at how deep this is. They've implemented an extreme leftist into Star Wars comics and novels. He is a far leftist. He's abusive with his language. He's an influencer. He has influence from his pedestal. And when he got knocked off of his pedestal, you're watching all of the people who are part of the conspiracy, and it is a weirdo conspiracy. You're watching them all react. David Simon even. So suddenly this happens. Chase Magnet threatens consequences after Marvel fired Chuck. So not only is Comicsgate to blame, but of course Marvel is to blame. And by the way, Marvel needs to face consequences for this too, according to this little fellow here.
I'm sure they're quaking in their boots from all the fury that gentleman can raise. Emphasis on the gentle.
Yeah. So after Marvel fired Chuck Wendig, comic book writer Chase Magnet threatened anyone who might replace Wendig on the Shadow of Vader series. So Shadow of Vader was the book that he got fired from. Magnet tweeted out, every member of the comics community must refuse to take Chuck Wendig's work or face consequences if they do.
What if I know what the consequences are? I mean, like, you're gonna send robots after us?
I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to draw Star Wars or Vader. I don't want to write any of that. But I will. I just want to find out what these consequences are.
Right.
I just basically say give it to Comicsgate. Whoever takes Chuck Wendig's work is making comics a worse industry for everyone but shareholders. That's all we care about. Right. They are reducing job security and wages. They are an active participant in everything terrible about this. We have to hold one another accountable now or things will get worse. Can you believe this? It doesn't matter what position. If you take this job, you are empowering comics publishers to terminate you and your fellow talent for any reason at all without any repercussions. The person who takes this job, look at this is what's amazing right here. This line. The person who takes this job is every bit as guilty in this event as Mark Paniccia. Mark Paniccia is the editor at Marvel who finally had to pull the plug. This guy is naming Mark Paniccia, an editor at Marvel Comics, by name. By name. That is a threat. That is a threat.
For everyone they fired, there's 100 Comicsgaters that can take the job.
Absolutely. We're lining up. We're getting ready. Marvel Comics. My name's Ethan Van Sciver. You remember me. You remember me. Stop hiring these people. Stop hiring them. Joe Quesada, stop hiring these people. You're putting yourselves, you're putting your employees at risk. I just want you to understand that and see that, because not everyone is as sane as Joe Hill with his Beetle wig. Not everyone who is Chuck Wendig's friend or supporter is that reasonable. Most of these people are mentally ill. And you've got people like this who are naming your editor who had to do his job. He had no choice. I'm sure he was also following orders from higher up the chain. They're being named by name and called guilty in this conspiracy, which it's pretty clear it is at this point, to employ, hire, and maintain social justice warriors within comics and keep right-wingers out. Just stop hiring these people. It's as simple as that. Go look at their social media, and if you see them say things like, Trump or anything like that, don't hire them. Just don't hire them. Save yourself some trouble. They're not that good anyway. It's not like Wendig was good. Magnet would go on to say, if you do take on Star Wars work, it will diminish your future security. Wow. In fact, it will diminish your security even if you can't afford to pay rent. He even claims taking the job will hurt, quote, yourself and everyone around you. Nick, what do you think of this?
I mean, these I don't know where these people like lost the basic principles of business or economics. I'm still stuck on his this hurts everybody except shareholders. No, if it hurts everybody, then it hurts shareholders. Because shareholders react to shareholders do well when the product is doing well. And if the product isn't doing well, then the shareholders aren't doing well either. There's no way to separate these two. So it's just dumb. But yeah, I don't know. These weird, vague sort of pseudo threats don't make any sense. Like what's the consequence? What are you going to do? Are you suggesting that there's some sort of Kabbalistic conspiracy that's going to come after whoever's next on the list or whoever takes over the job?
Yes.
I mean, that'll be interesting, I guess, if the next person gets fired.
That is the case.
If the next person gets fired, I'd be calling up Chase Magnet and serving him papers.
Yeah, well, it's not just that. It's that, what's happened to me, what's happened to Mitch and the Brightwisers, what's happened to Mike S. Miller, what's happened to Chuck Dixon, what's happened to Martina, what's happened to everyone who's a part of Comicsgate, who used to be in mainstream comics. We all know what he's talking about. We all know what it means to be unpersoned, to be persecuted, to be harassed, to be followed around, to have nasty articles written about us, to no longer be welcome where we once were just because of our politics. That's what he's saying. He's saying we have the power to do that. This kid opened his mouth, but he works for the media. He works for comicbook.com. He's big, high up on the chain at comicbook.com, which is a huge news outlet. He shouldn't have said this.
Yeah, I would be watching like a hawk if I were Marvel, the Marvel editor who hired or who was named by this guy, the next guy that they hire to take over Wendig's spot. I would be watching every piece that comes out of comicbook.com because all these online publications, they do wield some level of power when they get popular, but most of them don't run on big budgets and don't have lots of revenue to spend. Marvel does. And if you start publishing hit pieces against Marvel editors and Marvel writers, you better be dang sure what you're posting is 100% truthful.
I do agree. By the way, they're actually looking him up. I didn't know this. I don't even know Mark Panicia. I don't think I know him. I might have met. I don't care. I don't. Unless you're in Comicsgate, I really don't know who you are. Mark Panicia is an editor at Marvel. They're like, he follows Ethan Van Sciver on Twitter. And by the way, and they're like pointing to like like Ethan. So now they're like drawing conclusions. Ethan probably made this happen. Now because of that, and I didn't make any of this happen. I would never. I don't care. Like I would never do that. The article that went out to the AP, Martina, the article that went out to the AP named me as the person who caused this to happen to Chuck Wendig.
It was me.
Cecil, thank you for finally speaking up.
I run the Star Chamber.
Yeah.
And also I'm a huge fan of vague pseudo threats.
Wait, let me finish reading this dumb article. Hold on. Even if you're someone looking for a big break and needing to pay rent, this is C.A. Maggot, Chase Magnet here. He calls himself, because it's Halloween, so you change your stupid name. Taking this job diminishes your future security. You can make ends meet in a dozen other industries looking for staff right now without hurting yourself and everyone around you. While it's still unclear whether or not Magnet is specifically calling for violence, it appears heavily implied. He calls for people to treat whoever takes the job as a scab. That's a fucking Jersey Mafia term right there. I don't think this dude's Jersey, bitch. I don't think you're Jersey. All right.
Isn't that dehumanizing? Calling them a
bit?
And what I don't understand is like, isn't this kind of eating their own? So now they're like forcing whatever this shadow of Vader and whatever he was working on to fail. So
that's got to go down. That's right. The consequence.
It's Marvel. So they're hoping Marvel. So, okay. Your own doing then, like, fail, I guess.
Well, they're hoping that that'll be the consequence. Like, we'll show you if you fire Chuck Wendig off of the book that he was on, we're going to destroy the book that he was on. So nobody can come in. We're gonna salt the earth behind him. Nobody can come in, and take the job, or that person is going to be persecuted. You are going to be persona non grata. That's fine. Marvel, go hire some Spaniards and Brazilians. They don't give a shit. Okay, that's what you do in this situation. They don't care. But anyway, so they'll do that. They will try to get the book canceled by dropping the sales out from underneath it. And then they're going to persecute the editor who made the decision, who made the call. So that's their three-pronged plan. And no, this isn't SJ. There's no conspiracy with SJWs, Ethan. You're paranoid. With all your conspiratorial talk about SJWs and comics. What are you, nuts? Yeah, I'm nuts. Hold this person accountable. Don't help them find work. Don't share kind words. Don't even talk to them. They will be a scab. Treat them like one. Yeah, if you're unfamiliar with the term scab, it's slang for a strikebreaker or someone who is hired by a company in order to keep the organization running a dispute with a trade union. They would cross picket lines. Look at them. They've unionized. Whatever takes Chuck Wendig's work is whoever takes his work is making comics a worse industry for everyone but shareholders. Again, we have to hold one another accountable now, or things will get worse. I'm genuinely curious who will end up taking that job. Same. I know it's inevitable, which is why I'm staking this claim now before the choice is made. This motherfucker. Excuse my language. I'm so sorry. We have a lady in the chat, so
Marvel should offer him the job publicly.
Guys, what is going on? Why is this industry? I can't take anymore. We have to build Comicsgate. If I ever felt like I don't know, I'm bored with Comicsgate, let me move on. This kind of thing really inspires me to keep going.
Well, what's funny?
I'm available to write the new Vader book, by the way.
It's yet again an example of someone coming in on someone else's IP, writing for a while, and then it's just too bad that Marvel can fire this guy, and it doesn't matter what he's done to the Vader character to make it his own. It's not his. It never was, and it never will be. Whereas Ethan, if you get fired, who owns Cyberfrog?
I would really have to be full of self-loathing to fire myself from Cyberfrog.
I know, but it isn't that's what's killing me about Comicsgate. You guys get to own your product. You get to own it forever. No, there is no next in line to take over. But the sad reality is going to be whatever idiot takes over the next book from Chuck Wendig. It's 90% of the people aren't going to know, and they're not going to care. They just want the next Vader book. They don't want the next Vader book by Chuck Wendig. At least I don't think so. I don't think the customers do. I don't think the customers know, understand, or care. That's not what this is. It's not about the customers. It's about making it a hostile environment for creative people to work in. Like they are unionizing. They are backing each other. They are supporting each other. And look at the list of people. Look at that. You've got Dave Simon from The Wire. Somebody who I thought was a decent, respectable, creative person. Apparently not. Basically making it clear that he sides with Chuck Wendig and doesn't think Chuck Wendig needs to take any responsibility whatsoever for his miserable behavior.
Can I ask you, has Lloyd Kaufman weighed in?
I'm waiting for James Gunn to weigh in, personally. I think that would be the best. We have a new guest in here. His name is Steven. Steven is the creator of Asami, Children of Rosu. His name's Steven Hart. Young man, Steven Hart, how are you?
Good. Hey, thanks for having me on here.
Steven, is there a strobe light in your house? I have to make...
Oh,
yeah, look at that. Do you see that?
Is it the light in the back, the chandelier?
It's going orange every now and then.
Here, let me shut that off real quick for you.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
Yeah.
No, I was worried. It feels like there's a tow truck backing up in front of you. Just off screen.
If Kurt Eichenwald tunes in, he's going to sue you all for killing him.
That's correct. And listen, he will win. He won that case, didn't he?
No. It's still ongoing in Texas. He just moved. He moved the federal court to allow a case to proceed based on the theory that battery can occur over the internet through a strobing tweet, but he hasn't actually won the case based on that. He's just won the right to keep going.
He deserves to win something, doesn't he? No, he doesn't. He doesn't deserve to win anything.
No, that man's disgusting and horrible. Don't ever look into his past. If you do, make sure your incognito mode is on.
Vile. Absolutely vile. Steven Hart, creator of a book called Asami, Children of the Rusu. By the way, let me just go over everyone who's on our panel right now. We have 1,739 people watching right now. That's Comicsgate Live, ladies and gentlemen. Great to be chatting with you all tonight. Let's start with, first of all, Martina Marcota, who is joining us. It's a rare opportunity to get her on the show. She wants to come on the show. She just keeps missing it. I don't know what it is. She's just like, how come I get... Well, I send out the invites, So Martina Marcota does a book called Lady Alchemy. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start sharing these. Hold on a second. Let me screen share so you don't have to look at me. Yeah, I'll spare you all. There we go. Boom, Lady Alchemy graphic novel. By the way, congratulations. You're selling quite a few copies here. This is very exciting. It's up to $16,761. We're going to get Lady Alchemy up to 20, and we should do that tonight.
Nice.
So, guys, back at, buy your copy of Lady Alchemy. $25, you get the graphic novel. $50, you can get that and the poster. Support Martina. She is... she's Comicsgate. She's also a Republican, which makes me very happy. I like meeting other creative Republicans. So what's Lady Alchemy about, real quick in a nutshell, Martina?
Well, as we discussed, it's a kind of my story. Burlesque dancer, New York City, in the whole cement city, busy city with advertisements everywhere and all that stuff. And people are kind of getting brainwashed through all of this propaganda and advertisements, as we saw the Marina Abramovic and the Apple and the technology, give in, plug in. And, they turn in, everyone's just becomes all these NPCs, they get brainwashed by all this advertisements and become NPCs. And there's like the bigger thing behind it, which is the advertising executive that has a certain agenda. So there's always something behind all these drones that are fighting us. It's not just these individual people that are attacking us. There's something bigger behind it. So that's pretty much what it's about.
So back Lady Alchemy. The link is in the description. If you guys want to know how to back these comics, just drop down the little arrow underneath the screen. You're going to get a list of links to all of these projects. Do support Comicsgate. Support these Comicsgate projects in this crazy market where lunatics are demanding that anyone who wants to fill in for the hole that Chuck Wendig left behind should be persecuted, harassed, and his life ruined. That's what we're fighting here. That's kind of what we're fighting. And we've got to build a new industry because the old one has been taken over by aliens. It's their body snatchers. So
I agree. Somebody will fill in Chuck's hole.
Hey, Ethan,
yes.
I have to buzz out, but I have some big breaking news.
What's that?
This is fresh. I've apparently pissed off Mark Zaid quite a bit.
Oh.
He is still lead counsel on the case, and he will be added pro hack vice by the Texas law firm. He is still running Mark Wade's case. Make no mistake. He is surprised I am even a lawyer because I speculated on facts that I have literally no way to know because he lied and said he would come on my show and never did respond to me. Because he's a giant coward and a vagina. Can I say that?
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
You can say whatever you want.
So
here.
That sounds a little sexist to me.
So this pile of trash, Mark Zaid, is still representing Mark Wade. He has assured me in a series of angry tweets.
Yeah.
And he has impugned my professionalism, and I dare say am mildly tiffed.
This is great. Law wars.
I am so looking forward to Mark Wade paying for counsel in DC and Texas to fight this case. I'm so happy that he still has Mark Zaid. So I will be doing an updated video on this as soon as possible to explain the pro hack vice thing, because I had heard that he was out, but I guess he's in. So just so you know, that's where that is. But I do have to go put some kids in bed, so I need to make a graceful exit.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah.
You're the man.
Hey, thanks,
Hey,
buddy.
You are the man. God
That
bless.
was toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, on and on we go. This is going to be great. The story gets more and more interesting every day. Thank you so much. We do appreciate you, Nick. And anytime you want to pop in, we love having you.
Sounds good, buddy. Talk to you guys later.
Okay. All right. Very good. So next, I want to introduce you to Critias, and Critias's book is Detective Dead. Detective Dead is I don't have this on the. I gotta put this in the chat, Critias.
Cool.
Detective Dead by Critias on Indiegogo. We've got Donald DeLay, whose comic book ends. His comic book is called Brutus the Badass. Where is it? It's right here. Wow. It ends in 5 hours. It's at $27,026. Congratulations, Donald.
Thank you.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, doing good, really good.
Well
That's a
done.
lot of hookers
Tell
and-
Nasser. Oh, Nasser's in here. Nasser, good job.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right. So let's see. Back to this. All right. So all right, we've also got the great Antonio Bryce of a book called Brand, and Brand, of course, is pushing $47,000 right now.
Actually, almost 48.
48.
Wow.
I'm sorry, $48,000. And now I'd like to introduce you to a new gentleman, and his name is Stephen Hart. And let me share this. So we're going to take a look at his book, and you guys are going to decide if this is a book that you want to back and support. It's called Asami, Children of Rusu. Stephen Hart, what is this book about?
Well, I guess in a nutshell, it's about samurais, cowboy, and ancient aliens, pretty much. But if you want me to go in a little bit more explanation, I can give you kind of a one paragraph synopsis.
Do it.
Basically, it's a Japan late Edo period. It's a historically bent Edo period. A young samurai named Asami Nishimura is on a journey to save Japan from her former clan and daimyo. She is daughter of Kenichi Nishimura, a most trusted bodyguard to the current daimyo of the Rusu clan. After troubles besiege their land at the hands of the daimyo who has been chosen by the gods, Kenichi rebels against his lord and sends Asami away. Armed with a mysterious holy weapon, Asami searches for a man named John Moses. By banding together, they set out to unite the daimyo of the other provinces to wage war and defy the gods of Rusu.
Magnificent. It looks pretty cool. I'm scrolling down and looking at it right now. Maybe I should actually show everybody. Boom, like that. Okay, so this is the book. Beautiful artwork.
Thank you.
It reminds me of forget it. I'm not going to try to think of names anymore. I'm telling you, there's something wrong with me lately. I cannot recall names. Yeah,
It reminds me of those Wolf and Cub books from years ago. Frank Miller used to do the covers for them.
Oh yeah.
It's I talked with, first of all, I wanted to thank Antonio, Nasser, John Malin, and also GOP Gamer for the super chat. But I want to thank Antonio, Nasser, and John Malin for having me on their streams, and also you, Ethan, for having me on your stream to pitch the book and talk about it. But basically, what I went over with them is I'm kind of an anime guy, kind of an anime nerd. I'm watching anime since the early 90s, and it's heavily inspired by stuff like Ninja Scroll and Blood Rain, Curse of the Yoma. And so just being heavily inspired by that old 90s anime and trying to find out, I wanted to be creative and do something. And, the comic medium just seemed like the medium that I could do. So I just started drawing, practicing, watching your videos. That's how I stumbled on Comic Artist Pro Secrets. Is you had some inking videos that you were doing at the time,
right?
And and I was just just trying to study like prose inking and stuff like that, because that wasn't a familiar technique or something that I wasn't familiar with. I was more just pencils and stuff. So just watching that and then stumbling on diversity in comics and stuff, and then hearing this whole Comicsgate stuff, and I had plans to create this comic, and I wasn't sure how I was going to release it, but after just hearing you guys talk about it and what was happening to you, and just the stories that were in modern comics today, like one of the videos that stands out is like the Iceman story that I guess Zach was talking about inside the diversity in comics, and it was just I don't know, I felt like I wanted to be part of this, and also being a conservative myself, it just felt like the right thing to do. So that's why I'm here.
Well, I have to say, Stephen, already I'm enjoying your presence because you talk.
Oh. Thank you.
You are very, very good on the air. Excellent. Asami Children of the Rosu. So far, yeah, you've just sold a few more copies just while you're talking. The link is in the description, guys. If you want to back this comic book, it does look cool. It reminds me, it does remind me of those Frank Miller comics and Lone Wolf and Cub. But there's this other artist who I'm dying. This right here reminds me of Sam Keith. A little bit, a little Sam Keith influence, but all in all, this is a beautiful looking comic book. And I think you know what are you trying to get? You're trying to make $5,000.
Yeah,
Guys, we can get this guy to $5,000 pretty quickly, I think. So I think if you guys are good enough to back Asami Children of the Rosu, I think that would be a great thing. So is this your first of all, how old are you? You're a young man, even though you've got a kid here.
Oh yeah, I'm 28.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah,
Jeez.
28. And it's my first comic. I used to draw a lot in grade school, and I've always been into the creative side of things like music, guitar, synthesizers, and stuff like that. And
Steven,
just
have you heard my music? Have you heard my?
I've heard a couple of your. I've heard you on the piano. You're actually really good.
Well.
I'm not good at piano, so.
Oh well, I am. I'm glad.
I like that it has the chariots of the gods. That's cool.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
into that. It's like Lady Alchemy stuff. I like that.
That's a huge influence. It's part of the story. That's why I say it's just samurai. There's a cowboy from the United States, and it's ancient aliens. So I kind of blended the. It's more like the Sengoku Jedi period, but around the Western, around the Wild West era of the United States is closer. It's closer related to the Edo period. So I'm kind of bending history a little bit, but I wanted to get a cool cowboy in there. I got a cool concept for a character, and he's gonna make an appearance in this first issue.
Everyone is excited about this in the chat. They're saying you're so much better than Nasser. That is the one thing that people keep saying. Big upgrade from Nasser. So
they say that about every new person.
Well, I mean, we just keep getting better and better, but we keep Nasser on board here. And he's
Stephen, I have a very important question for you. Do you think I'm funny?
Yeah.
You do. Oh wow.
I like
Phil is funny. He likes my music.
I like the Smug Doug impression the most.
I think we have a new Nasser. I think we've replaced Nasser.
How? He's nothing like me. They're all saying he's better than me.
That's the point.
So how's he the new me?
He's an upgrade, Nasser.
No, new me is the girl in the book.
Asami Children of the Rosu is up to $21.55. I want to check in on Lady Alchemy really quick. It was at $16,761 right now. Let's refresh this. Wow, there you go. $16,978. We're just like one copy away from hitting 17. I'd love to get this book to 20, guys. I think we can do that pretty quickly if we, get together and make this happen. Pre-order your copy of Lady Alchemy right now. And also, let's check in on Brutus the Badass. $27,026. This book just ends in 5 hours. This book's going to end tonight. Yeah. This ends tonight. Are you excited about it ending?
Yeah, I'm excited to get the colors going.
Yeah,
it's palpable.
It is palpable. The excitement that these two guys. By the way, Nasser and Donald DeLay, two of the lowest energy.
The two most awkward ones.
I mean, it's like you guys are like dragging an anvil. Can you guys talk about Brutus the Badass a little bit and give me some energy for people about what this book is about?
Let me get an ad.
Definitely, Ethan. Definitely.
Oh my god,
Ethan! It's a very high tea book about a bounty hunter that's lost his memory. He has no idea where he comes from, and then suddenly, right after his latest hunt, his pest catches up with him, and it decides to hunt him down. And he's got his sidekick Gideon. That's a psychotic little robot that thinks he's a human.
Nice. That was good. That was really good, Nasser. That was probably the best. You know what? I think that you've really gotten better at this. You've been doing this every day for months now, and I'm gonna be honest with you.
He's mimicking humans really well.
He's becoming a real boy.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
He met that little blue fairy and turned him into a real boy or something.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. Let's see if you guys will all do this. I got to get a timer on. Here's a clock. This is a game that we play, and it's kind of like, hey, can you guys actually sell your books and talk for 1 minute straight? Now, we've got 3 new Comicsgaters. I'm including Martina in that. Martina, you are a professional broadcaster, so this is almost not fair. But what I want you to
No, I
do.
suck. I suck at my job. I'm a dancer. I like to stay quiet. But go ahead. Go ahead. Tell me what to do.
All right. So what you're gonna do is all of you guys are gonna take 60 seconds, nonstop 60 seconds. I'm gonna hit a stopwatch here, and you are going to pitch your comics for 60 seconds, and you can't stop until the 60 seconds is up. That is the key. I'm going to make Steven go first because I don't think Steven has a problem speaking, which is, impressive and unusual. Steven, are you ready to go?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I'm going to hit start. I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1, and then you have 1 minute, and do not stop talking until I say stop.
Sounds good.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
So my book is Asami Children of Rusu. It's a civil war in feudal Japan pits the Rusu clan, who has been chosen by a mysterious deity, against neighboring clans in the shogunate. Asami leaves Rusu at her father's request, accompanied by a foreigner, John Moses, and a mysterious holy weapon to unite the warring clans against Rusu and the disruptor worshipped as a god. So like I said before, this book is samurais, cowboy, and an ancient alien theme in there. So we have the disruptor in Rusu, who's kind of pulling the strings from the Rusu clan. The Rusu clan was a small clan in the Tohoku region in feudal Japan, and now they're starting to attack their allies and also their enemies, and also one of their major allies, which is the Date clan that Asami and Kenichi have ties with. So that's kind of the breaking point for Kenichi Nishimura and Asami Nishimura. So the Chariot of the Gods aspect is like I said, is the disruptor. And
Boom, you did it.
Okay.
Nice. Good job.
And they were yelling at you in the chat and saying that you were reading. Now I'm willing to give you the benefit of a doubt about that. They're saying, yeah, he's reading, cheater.
Well,
my
elevator pitch is I am reading from a script on my elevator pitch, and then I kind of expand from there. But
your elevator pitch is good. Your elevator pitch is good.
Thank you.
All right. Now you don't even have to talk about your book. I don't even, it doesn't matter what you talk about. The whole point is to just sell your project. Lady Alchemy, Martina, I want you to go next. One thing I wanted to ask you, because people are now, you brought up dancing and people are interested. When it comes to dancing, which is your other art form, is this something that you improvise? Do you when you get out on stage, do you know what you're going to do? Do you have a step-by-step choreographed thing, or do you just feel it and do it?
Well, actually, I do both of those things. So there are times where I have a performance with professional, production. We rehearse. There's lighting. There's a sound guy. There's a whole team of people, even though I'm the only person on stage. So yes, there's certain routines that I have that I perform on a proper stage. And then there's something that I call, we would call it an ambient. So when there's like in between shows and performances, there's just like I would come out in a costume, like my Lady Alchemy stuff. And I would do what's called sculpture dancing. So I would wear all these kind of almost religious looking, like very high priestess looking outfits. And I don't know if you guys have been to like the Metropolitan Museum of Art or any classical Greek Roman sculptures, but they always have these beautiful like poses when they're like, so I would just slow-mo, no matter what club music is playing, I would just freestyle, just like move. So I can just like move to music. I can just move to anything.
Well, we have people in the chat who want to know if you will teach Cecil how to dance.
I'm already wearing tassels.
Now, Cecil... Okay, Cecil, can you put a mask on? Do you want to be can you put a mask on so we can actually see you?
I belly dance when I'm just sitting still. No. I did no.
You won't do this? You won't do this for the chat?
This is a hard pass.
Martina could teach you one step, and then you could do it.
No.
Not even as Robbie the Rectum.
You know what? I've got a book to sell next month. I'll fucking dance my ass off now.
Cecil.
You know what? Maybe that's how I can sell more, is if I just dress up as Lady Alchemy and I don't have to talk. I can just dance. That would be
that's what they're actually saying in the chat. Yeah, they would like to see you dance. If you will dance for 1 minute, you could dance for 1 minute or talk for 1 minute. Which would you prefer?
dance if I was in full costume and I had music. Yeah, definitely dance.
That's why I
but you're
won't do
gonna
it
talk
either.
instead.
But for now, wait, is reading not allowed? I can't read a little bit.
Well, you can do whatever you want to do. You just have to
Okay.
sell your book for 1 minute. And if she does a good job,
16
yeah, everyone's angry at Cecil right now. People are pissed at Cecil for turning
Why?
that down. That was Cecil. Let me explain something, Cecil.
Oh, I'm game. Come on, stop it. I
This
don't want to
is a
start fucking
show.
dancing around with my fat belly and a mask right now.
That's the whole. Listen, this is.
Yeah,
a
I
show.
get it.
You've been on camera many, many times in a mask.
People have seen my fat belly too.
They've seen your fat belly. All they wanted you to do was get one dancing lesson from Lady Alchemy, and you said, "No, hard pass." Why did you do that? Why did you break everyone's heart? Everyone in the chat right now is pissed off at you.
For
They're
some
saying,
people, dancing is scary.
Always leave them wanting more. I will. Someday I'll dance for you.
Oh man, they're
You
really.
really are like Jabba the fucking Hutt. Now you want me to dance for you.
You don't have to. All right. So Martina, ready? 1 minute, and you're gonna pitch Lady Alchemy. Ready?
Sure.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so it's like a cyberpunk meets noir kind of thing. Very neon noir. Burlesque dancer, alter ego is Martina Markota, so it's based off me, yeah. And journalist by day, burlesque dancer by night. So you go out in costumes and all that stuff. Rising star in the underground scene in the big city. She discovers that her visions of a demonic world are real. She must control her alchemy powers and enter the dark realm and fight to free the city from a mind-controlling media executive. Neon noir meets cyberpunk wrapped around a hot babe. So basically, I want to bring back the beautiful 80s, 90s type women in these comics. We've seen a lot of taking away from beauty in these comics. And I always really looked up to these beautiful, sexy 90s comics. So I want to bring that back in a modern twist. Am I still going?
You're done. You made it. And by the way, congratulations. You broke $17,230 tonight for Lady Alchemy. If you thought that was a great pitch, if you like Martina and you want to support her comic and help make her vision come to life, bring it to life, back Lady Alchemy, the graphic novel. The link is in the description. If you liked Asami Children of Rusu, by the way, that book is selling right now. Gee whiz, $2,570. Good, congratulations, Stephen.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on here.
Yeah. You're doing very, very well. People are impressed with what they see. All right, now here comes the bad part. Brutus, I'm breathing into the mic. I'm sorry, I'm exhaling right into the microphone because I know I got to let Nasser talk for 1 minute.
Didn't you just tell me I did a good job last time, Ethan?
No, yeah, you did. I just don't want to push my luck.
Let Donald
get Donald to do it or Nasser. I mean,
both of us.
Yeah, both of you. You want to do a joint act? I mean,
no. I'll do it, and then he will.
Okay.
I think everybody likes to hear you guys play off each other. That's what the fans really want.
Is that what they want? Cecil?
That's what I was thinking.
That'll be a train wreck.
They want to see me fucking dance. I don't know.
Well, they'd rather see you dance. By the way, people forgive you. A lot of people said we forgive you, we love you, Cecil. So don't worry, you don't have to dance.
I'm not drunk. I'm stone cold sober. That also might have something.
Yeah, it's Sunday night. Why aren't you drinking? That's
I have to be up at like 6 a.m. I have something to do tomorrow.
That's okay. That'll keep you sober. Brutus the Badass just sold a couple more copies. It's at $27,211. All right. Well, Nasser, do you want to go first, or do you guys want to do a joint act?
Donald, what do you want?
I'll go after.
One do the razzle, the other one do the dazzle.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Ready? Nasser's gonna go first.
Okay.
1 minute. 3, 2, 1, start.
All right, Brutus is a very high tea book, you guys. We're bringing back everything that's been missing the last few years from comics. It's got all sorts of violence, action, comedy, great story, beautiful art. It's a 48-page book, but if we get to 30 grand, it's going to be extended by 12 pages. Brutus is a bounty hunter. His memory's been wiped. He has no clue where he comes from, no idea anything about his past. And during his latest hunt, well, a little bit after, his past comes back for him and it comes to hunt him down. And he's got his sidekick Gideon. That's a psychotic robot that thinks he's a human. And it's just going to be an awesome story, awesome time for everybody. You guys are going to love it.
Not bad.
Still got time running.
Jesus,
Oh.
you only made it to 48 seconds now.
Really? Ah, man.
And time. You utterly failed. Utterly failed.
I wouldn't say that's utterly.
That was catastrophic. Antonio, back me up.
I was just when the dead air happened, I was like, oh.
I said, you got to keep talking until I say stop. And Antonio, did you hear that? Like he cut out. Like, I'm gonna make Antonio do this. He's gonna teach you guys how to do it. Hold on, let me look up Brand and put this in the chat.
Are there any cameos in your book?
Yes, there's a bunch of little stuff in the backgrounds. Cecil, you're not in there till issue 2.
Hey, Ethan.
Yes.
This is why I need you to check a DM that Critias and I sent you later on.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know.
You have a DM from me too in that case.
I don't want to check my DMs from you people.
It's related to this. It's related to this.
Okay. In any case, Brand by Antonio Bryce and Kanan White. I'm going to put this into the description as well. Everyone loves Antonio. And
well, thank you.
Well, you're a likable guy. I mean, again, the only person I talk to every single day is my wife. And I was talking about you today to her. I was like, I don't know. Me and Antonio have good chemistry on the air. I don't know what it is, but like, she's like, yeah, like, I don't know. You guys just sound good together. And I was like, thank you, sweetheart. Brand by Antonio Bryce and Kanan White, $47,863 right now. You have become a broadcaster in your own right, Antonio, because you have your own YouTube channel.
I do.
And your YouTube channel does really well.
Yeah, we're about to hit over 2,000 subscribers. So yeah, I was surprised by that. But,
I'm not surprised at all.
Well, I mean, I was when I tried to do the YouTube, I was trying to do what Zach was doing, and it just was not working for me. So I was like, let me pull some comics out reviews like 3 people would watch. It just wasn't appealing. And I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna fail doing what I want to do. So that's when I did the gumbo video that you saw. That's when I created a football podcast, a playbook that I started doing every week. And then obviously I created my other podcast, Sexy Party, which is fantastic with Miss Sashi. That is a Sexy Party. I look forward to doing that every week. Doug came on with us the other week and we had a lot of fun. And so, yeah, we're doing the thing. I'm trying to find nice, beautiful cam models or somebody to come on and have fun with us when we do the podcast. But that is, obviously I talk about Comicsgate related issues as well, but I mix a little bit of everything in there instead of just trying to, hey, let me pull this book out and do it. Obviously Zach does that very well. I can't be Zach. I got to be me. So.
Oh, you got to be you. And just see how he dominated just then. That was awesome. He's a guy who can talk. All right, Antonio, you're going to pitch Brand to people. Okay.
Right.
You've got 1 minute. Don't stop talking until I say stop.
All right.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Well, Brand is a supernatural love story. It's basically there's a war between heaven and hell. We have over 7 billion people on this planet. There are only 1,000 of these warriors. And 2 of these warriors are a couple named David and Dawn Craven. And David basically kind of broke the rules and fell in love with Dawn. And she got sucked into this supernatural world. So he has to basically take her on as a student and teach her how to fight werewolves and vampires and demons and ghosts. Along with him are, his little sidekicks. He has a mask named Penance that he kind of links up with that kind of hooks him up. He's like on steroids when he links with the mask. and then we have these little demon dogs called Reapers that basically kind of eat the souls and devour the souls of anybody that they catch, basically trying to
Boom.
stop Lucifer.
Done. Done. And by the way, that I mean, I looked away. I wasn't like tense. I was just like, Antonio's talking, just let him talk. Was never worried about you continuing or finding something to say, not for a minute, not for a second. 1 minute, 1 second, and 34.34. Fantastic job, Antonio. And that is why your comic book is headed towards six figures, young lady. Six figures, young lady.
I didn't even get to mention the fact that Edwin Boyette is going to make a small cameo right there in the first few pages of the book.
That'll sell.
Oh yeah,
that'll sell. Guess what? Lady Alchemy is going to be in my book. So
here's a huge selling point for Brand. Ethan loved the artist so much he stole him for one of his projects.
That is true.
That is a huge. So I mean that's a real seal of approval.
I'd like to think he borrowed him, but yes, I'm happy that Kanan is getting other opportunities. Absolutely,
Kanan's awesome. I mean, just amazing. By the way, Lady Alchemy graphic novel is now up to $17,454.
Nice.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. It really means so much. Like, honestly, the only people that have been so supportive the past few years since the election has been Comicsgate. It's the only support I've received, left or right. So thank you guys so much.
You're welcome. On behalf of this incredible group of people that's in the chat, 1,633 people right now watching. And so I'm sure they all want to say thanks. Asami Children of Rusu is up to $2,635 right now. Impressive. I think we're going to see that get funded pretty quickly. Brutus the Badass is just plugging along here in its last 4 or 5 hours. $27,269. They said to me, it's going to get to 30,000. Not they didn't say that. Some fans said that to me, and I said 30,000. You think so? It was just at 19,000 yesterday. Well, it's looking like that might be a possibility, guys. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's awesome. At 30,000 people, everyone's going to get an exclusive set of trading cards and the extended pages. You know, there can be 5 more pages from me and a 5-page short story from Andrew Huerta.
That's magnificent. You guys are great. I absolutely love it. Terrific. Let's see. Guys, by the way, those of you who said I sent you a DM, I don't have a DM from you guys. I just looked. I don't know what you're talking about.
Like, I don't know. I think earlier today or maybe yesterday.
Yesterday? You sent this to me, Nasser?
Let me see. I sent you a message 11 hours ago.
Is this about you coming back into the room because you unblocked someone? That was your message?
Yeah.
Kick Nasser.
Do you understand what it's like to be me? I'm thinking like I'm thinking he's got something urgent to tell me that pertains to the what we're doing right at this moment. And I
wasn't gonna message you about it, but Donald said for me to come right to you and message you.
Don't do that. Like, I'm thinking somebody's having a seizure or something that I should be aware of. Somebody's in the hospital, and you should know. We don't want to No, that's not.
Speaking of which, Ethan, could you unblock me on Twitter? That would make me very happy.
No, I refuse.
I saw a new one in the chat. The Kick Nasser is being replaced with Punch Nasser.
Like, literally Punch Nasser.
Everyone's been bullying me since I was on Mike's stream yesterday. And Mike got 40 people to unsubscribe from my YouTube.
Wow.
That is absolutely incredible that you would do that. But okay, all right. You know, we're all very comfortable with each other, I guess, and that's a good thing. We're comfortable enough to interrupt the show. Brand by Antonio Bryce and Kanan White doing absolutely phenomenal. Wow, it actually is $47,863. You just sold a bunch more copies. And now I want to talk about Critias and Detective Dead.
Dun.
How do you feel about that, Critias?
Can we get me a little bit nervous over here?
Yeah, don't be nervous, Critias. It's okay. I mean, you know, Critias is gentle. He's from well, I thought you were from Brooklyn, but it says Florida.
No, I am from Brooklyn, but I moved to Florida because of circumstances.
Yeah.
He murdered somebody.
Okay. No, it was really tough. It's not. I can say offline.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, you've got everybody interested. Circumstances. Do you want to make something up? You want to make up part of your life?
I'll
mean,
make it
all
up
right.
for you.
So
He's a
when I was
professional
living
surfer.
in New York, I was kind of homeless. Me and my family.
Really?
Yeah.
You were homeless in New York, and so you decided to move to Florida.
I was offered a job in Florida, and it was a good chance to get my 2 feet, so I took it.
What was the job? Can you say or no?
Yeah, I was working at an industrial construction site as a laborer.
Mm-hmm.
I was making maybe like $18.90 an hour, and then
All
I
right.
lost my job because my wife got sick with her heart.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you decided, look, I'm going to do a comic book. At this point in my life, I'm going to.
Well, it's the only thing that I have right now because every time I apply for a job, I got turned down or I didn't get hired. So this is like my last chance to do something.
Moving to Florida was probably a good idea. Moving
Yeah.
to Florida is nice. I would like to move to Florida. I don't know, every day I think about moving to Florida. And because of that, here we have Critias, also known as we call him Critias because we already have an Antonio. We didn't need two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need two Antonios. Antonio Malpica, also known as Critias, is doing a comic book called Detective Dead Crimson Moon. And I am speechless. I'm choked up by that. That's an amazing thing, and I'm proud to call you a friend. I'm proud that you're a part of this campaign. I'm proud that you're part of Comicsgate. You represent exactly what we believe in, which is just people making their dreams come true through comic books.
Right.
You've aligned yourself with Comicsgate. You're a part of this group.
Well, that's why I love this community. You guys welcome me with open arms. You guys like the only friends I have left right now. I mean, I left everything in New York.
Yeah. Well, luckily you have a lot of friends here. Like I said, there are 1,642 people watching you here, who are saying, "Good luck, Critias. You're a good dude."
I appreciate everybody.
Some people are not being nice to you and saying, "Well, you better sign this book, Critias."
No, I am going to sign all the books. I am. I'm going to sign every single one of them.
You better sign these books. F you, Critias. That's typical Comicsgate. All right, Critias, we're gonna ask you to do your pitch here. Are you up for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, hold on a second, because I lost my timer. I was looking at Brutus the Badass, and I lost my stopwatch. There it is, right there. All right, reset. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Well, if you guys love noir and action, and you love violence, and you love sexy women and toxic masculinity, then Detective Dead is for you. It's about a 1932 officer named Detective Dead, or Joel Anthony Scorn, who finds the lifeless bodies of his wife and daughter after a raid that went south. So as he's just holding their bodies and mourning over them, he hears somebody playing music the next room over, and when he checks, it's his arch nemesis, Glasses. They both get into a quick shootout and wind up in the street, dying under this strange blood moon. The effects of the moon causes our hero, Joel Anthony Scorn, to wake up in modern day time with unique powers and abilities that he just begins to discover, as he tries to escape certain bad situations. As he wants to get vengeance, he has to put us to the side because he has to rescue his partner's granddaughter who gets captured by the villains. There's a cameo by Sisu and Nurkish in there. We got posters.
By the way, I just let you keep going, but yeah, congratulations. That was terrific. Good job, man. 1 minute done. If you're interested in this, if you want to support Critias, if you want to support Detective Dead Crimson Moon, back it right now. The link is in the description. I think I just put it right above the one with Lady Alchemy. You want to support all these books, but especially Critias, who is now, I mean, look, he came over to us. He said, I'm Comicsgate. I want to be a part of you. I looked at the book this is the bad thing. A lot of people want to be in Comicsgate.
Right.
You know what I mean, Critias?
Right.
Everybody wants to be in Comicsgate, and it kind of like falls to me, like who gets to be on my show, like who gets like who gets the notifications, and gets to get promoted on this show. And you get funded when you get on my show. So I looked at your stuff and didn't know anything about you, but I looked at the artwork and the story, and I thought it looked really cool. I thought it looked like a film noir version of DC's The Spectre, and it just looked badass. So I invited you to be a part of this, and boom, look at you, 227% funded as of October 8th. You weren't aiming to make this much money, but you did make this much money because people thought your idea was really, really good, and people have continued to watch the show, and they like you a lot. So 23,000, you just sold another few books, $805.
Wow.
Yeah, those of you
Yeah,
in
no,
the
I appreciate and I love this community so much, and this, sometimes I wish I can do more, and I tell people that one day I hope I can run into them and shake their hands and hug them and say thank you, because they made this happen for me.
yeah, this is just look, this is, I mean, you're the type of person who deserves to be in comics. Martina is the type of person who deserves to be in comics. Steven is the type of person who deserves to be in comics. Antonio deserves to be in comics. Kanan deserves to be in comics. Donald deserves to be in comics. Nasser Antonio deserves to be in. Did I say Antonio? Deserves to be in comics. I mean, that's what Comicsgate is. It's awesome like that. So thank you guys in the chat for supporting. Lady Alchemy's at $17,454. Brand by Antonio Bryce and Kanan White is getting close to breaking 48,000. If you haven't backed that one yet, do that. Brutus the Badass is the big success of the night, of course. $27,319 with 4 hours to go. I would love to see that break 30. Would love it.
Me too. I want those worth the pages.
Oh yeah. Asami, Children of Rusu. We've accepted Steven into our community. Well, it's not by community, I mean this show. And Comicsgate is whoever wants to be in Comicsgate, but I like Steven. Steven had some cool stuff to say. Came on here, and now suddenly he's at $2,725. He's at 54% of his $5,000 fixed goal. The thing about this show also, guys, is that when we're finished being live, the show kind of stays on the air, or it stays attached to my page. People continue to watch it who missed it because they were asleep. They're on the other side of the world, anything like that. And people will discover your work. The links still remain attached to the video. You will watch your campaign grow overnight. And that, again, is the strength and power of Comicsgate. Now, I am going to pay some bills here. I'm going to read some super chats. Is that okay with everyone, or do you guys?
I'll comment on each one.
Okay,
Absolutely
thank you.
not.
All of you feel free to comment on each one. And while I'm reading super chats, those of you who are in the chat with us, 1,635 people, go and shop. Look at these campaigns. The links are all in the description. Support them at whatever tier you'd like to. Some of them deserve. I would think some of them deserve more support. Some of the higher tiers. Look and see what's available. Make sure these guys all sign their comics too. I got to get Martina to do that. I don't know if she's signing her book. Martina, are you signing your books?
Yeah. I think you mentioned last time I should definitely do that. So for sure.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Gojirify, thanks for $2. Looking for antique pie pans? No. Chaos Risen, thanks for $5. Last day for Brutus the Badass, Donald and Nasser live wet t-shirt contest. Guys, are you? No?
I think
Okay.
you read that one already.
Yeah, I think I might have. All
I
right,
remember
let me
saying
ask.
nobody wants to see me in a wet t-shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I already got to most of these. Let me scroll ahead a little bit. Bear with me, guys. Now I'm the one who's being quiet on my own show. I know.
Cecil, come on, cover it up. We need to cover the dead air.
Yeah, cover up my dead air. Well, there are like 100,000.
I'll do a 15-second pitch for a cash grab. 15 seconds. It will be the beginning of Seven Figures, bitch. Once this comes out, I promise it to be the comic book industry's 9/11. That's all I can say.
All right. Well, listen, I figured out where I was. Liam, thanks for $10. Mankind versus the world, mankind versus machine, mankind versus itself. Sway, reign. You're the last soul on earth, and all that is left are your fears. Check us out on Indiegogo, out now. Thank you, Liam. Gojirify, at Nick, Facebook, replace with the whiskey of your choice. Eddie Wilson, thanks for $1.99. Congratulations on Brutus. Ben Hennessy's here. He congratulates Donald and Nasser. Angela Richter says, for Ricada, was Zaid official attorney of record before this new motion was filed? IIRC local rules of that court states that must be done. We'll run that by Ricada tomorrow, I think. G. Linzer, thanks for $5. Wade is afraid he's going to get flayed. Very poetic. $5 donation from Retracted Message. Thank you. Rebel Scum Radio. Can Jamal represent Mark Wade? That'd be great. Tippy Tail McKitty, keep the screen locked on Martina, please. JR, Antonio, great show earlier with Uncle Hotep. Oh, wait, I should stop sharing this. Let me I will lock the camera on Martina for you guys. All right, there you go. Antonio, great show earlier with Uncle Hotep. Uncle E, you should have Uncle Hotep on sometime. Antonio Malpica, hi, Critias, $5. So let me get this straight, Nick. Mark Wade is asked out. Chuck Wendig is asked out. Mainstream Comics is asked out. Sounds like a good week. Chaos Risen, $5. I have a confession. I literally backed Lady Alchemy solely because she is a woman. Does not mean I am not a misogynist. Oh, no, wait. He's saying, does that mean I am not a misogynist anymore? Nick, please advise. I will tell you, no, you're still a misogynist. And that's okay. Joseph Citadino, thanks for $10. Hey, Ethan, the MCU looks like it's set to fail disastrously. Not only is the MCU getting woke with Captain Marvel, but now Sony has basically confirmed they're stealing Spider-Man from the MCU. Thoughts? I told you this. Yeah, I've warned you. The MCU is getting woke. Get ready. They just signed Captain Marvel's Brie Larson on for 7 movies, guys.
Oh my goodness.
That is 7 3-hour headaches right there. Big Red, thanks for $2. Let's get it to 25K. I want those cards. Gojira 5 Vox was hired, has hired Mark Zaid. Maz G, thanks for $10. Ethan, ask Martina about her Judge Judy letter. I'd love to hear Nick's take on it. Sorry to put you on blast, Martina. Do you know what she's talking about?
Maz is my artist, actually. You should have him on sometime. He does that amazing art. Yeah, you know how I've been trying to figure out how to do what Richard did with, fighting them legally back. So I was like up in the middle of the night, just like frustrated at this one girl who like makes videos on me on YouTube and like has tried to destroy my life like every single day to this day. And I was just like, oh, what can I do? And my fiance was watching Dr. Phil, and I'm like, man, if I could just get her on Dr. Phil and he could blast, open her a new asshole. And then I was like, oh no, Dr. Phil hates Trump. And then I was like, well, who likes Trump? And I'm like, Judge Judy. Judge Judy would rip her a new asshole, and she's totally a Republican. And so I submitted to Judge Judy, and I got a response back, and they want me on the show.
Are you serious?
And
That's
everyone's
awesome.
like, do it. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of scared. Like, I need the evidence. Like, I have some evidence, but like, how much evidence do I need? Right? Like,
yeah, you have to do it for Comicsgate.
That's what he's saying. He's like, don't make the comic huge. You have to do it, Martina. You'll get so many fans. I'm just like, I'm scared.
If you want Martina to go on Judge Judy and fight these weirdos, back Lady Alchemy. Support Lady Alchemy. The link is in the description below. Buy your copy of Lady Alchemy. Martina is going to sign them all. So, that's a nice thing. Make sure that
Sorry, don't mean to cut you off on your own show. But the 25K reference too about the cards is that we're going to have custom tarot decks with me as the high priestess and some really cool, my artist is awesome work. And it's going to be a one-of-a-kind tarot deck. There's different tarot decks you can buy out there in the world, but this will be a one-of-a-kind, really cool, synth wavy kind of tarot deck. So let's get to 25K.
Yeah, let's get Lady Alchemy to, way past 25K, guys. Support the book. Make sure to buy your copy today and get yourself hopefully one of those tarot decks. All right, Bagel Goose is here. Where the frick is Cecil? He's in the chat. GOP Gamer. Okay, that was the $100. Thank you so much for that. That was the super chat of the night, and that's why Stephen Hart just is now part of the group. But Stephen, if you had bombed out, you'd be out of here. You did not bomb out. You did great. So it's great to meet you.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all merit. You have to understand. It's all merit based. I'm going to take the camera off poor Martina. I'm sorry. That's rude. I hope you enjoyed her. Okay.
I definitely did. Yes.
Rhaegar Targaryen, $1.99. NPCs be like, Aladdin is racist. Days of Clarity, $2. Martina, can you live stream your show on Twitch YT?
I don't know how Twitch works, but I'll look into it as long as it doesn't make me like a Twitch thought or something.
There's some hot stuff going on Twitch. I love Twitch.
Andrew Privateer, $1.99. Nick Ricada Moonlights is Beverly Reeves. Alec Munoz, these commie windbags need to be trebucheted. Lance 737, even if Chuck wasn't an SJW, it's good he's gone because of the stupid things he added to Star Wars lore, like one planet produces every vehicle and weapon in the Empire. Yeah, Stephen Tierney, thanks for 10 pounds. Love the show. Thank you, Stephen. Django Manko, thanks for $5. They're acting as if women and minorities are in danger without Wendig. If that's not racist and sexist, I don't know what is. Zachary Shields, $4.99. Wendig needs to learn how to look on the bright side of life. At least now he can publicly roundhouse kick pro-life women without fear of losing his job. The Ball Sacker, $1.99. Nurkish's new show is awesome. Need more Nurkish here. Yeah, Nurkish is always invited, but he is busy doing his own show. So that is going to be tough. It'll be a special treat when we get Nurkish in here. Frozen Solid, thanks for $5. Someone should draw Wendigo 1 to go with Mark's side. I find the concept of the Indigo tribe calling people fuck necks is hilarious. Ben West, thank you for $2. Nasser, thank you for Stardust. It kicks buff hole.
Cool.
What do you think of that? Yeah.
Awesome to hear.
Yeah. Custom Songmaker, $2. Wendig song, me personally, I'd like to hear that. Custom Songmaker is the guy who did the Wendig song to These Are a Few of My Favorite Things. And go to his channel.
Great.
Dude, Cecil is the one who turned me on to that. So funny. So funny. Go to Custom Songmaker, all one word, and go like that video. Go listen to it and enjoy it. You'll get a good laugh. Especially the heavy metal part when he starts screaming. Mark Cromwell, thanks for $20. My brother has a fantasy novel, The Tomb of Theraguard, in Amazon on paperback, Kindle for $3.99. A paladin must fight a necromancer zombie horde. Sales from the last super chat pushed Kavanaugh onto the Supreme Court. Nice. Harry Bergeron, $1.99. Can you imagine if Kathleen Kennedy actually did get fired? Yeah, that, you know, what you're seeing with Chuck Wendig right now is just a small dose of what's going to happen when Kathleen Kennedy gets the boot, and she will get the boot soon. Aaron Cook, thanks for $5. Wonder if the door that hit him in the behind swang wibbly wobbly. Rhaegar Targaryen, NPCs, the wagon Chuck writes like a valley girl. And Matthew Hopkins, Blake Northcott had mentioned that she would be more than happy to write Shadow of Vader, and Gail went hard in the paint on Twitter after her. Yeah, I got to get Blake on this channel because she is Comicsgate. She is a woman. And, you know, I don't know if she has an Indiegogo or not, but I think she needs to come on here. Psychotic Cognition 100. Hey, Cecil, did you have fun laughing at Gamergate 2.0?
Yes.
Okay. Jeremy, you got a new subscriber. Thank you. None of your business. These people are fucking crazy. Nasser's smelly stick of butter. The people have spoken. Per the million sons of Mike, kick Nasser or have him eat me. By the way, it's okay to be parquet. Hang Solo, who would like Martina to teach EVS to belly dance? Oh,
well, I mean, yeah, let's shoes on the other foot now, Ethan. Why don't you go?
Yeah, but Cecil, I would do it because you know, the thing is, I realize I have a show and I'm trying to entertain people and make them laugh. I'd be happy to learn how to belly dance. I absolutely would.
That would be really funny, actually.
Okay. See, and that's the thing, Cecil. That's called playing around and being a good
what's
sport.
Stopping you?
I'm reading super chats right now. And by the way, I'm not even sure that Martina knows how to belly dance. She is what's the word? God damn it.
Burlesque. But yeah, you're right. It's a totally different profession, but you know, we can both try.
Yeah,
there was have a belly either.
There was a show on basic cable that would come on that would teach you belly dancing, and I actually did try it. So and I was good at it. Cecil, you can't stop me. Let me tell you something. I'm way ahead of you. I already know how to belly dance. A custom song maker. I heard Cecil's song is better than Wendig's song. Cecil, did you have a song?
Yeah, it's just him saying hello like me over and over. Also, I think you're confusing belly flop with belly dance.
Maybe you're right. David DeBergerac says destroy that like button. Bagel Goose says EVS shut up so Cecil can talk. That was perfectly timed. Cecil, is there anything you'd like to say?
No, surprisingly no.
No, okay. Starbat, thanks for $10. Hey Ethan, big fan. What's the best way to become a successful comic book artist? A lot of work. Yeah, you just got to draw. You got to draw your face off, and try to create a style that's appealing and works on anything. I like to think of John Byrne as the most successful comic book artist because his style worked on absolutely anything. He could draw a horror, a western, a romance, any superhero book. That's the key to becoming successful. Christian Parker, $5. Is it difficult? It is difficult to admire Martina's beautiful and angelic visage with Antonio's giant head staring into my soul. Antonio, your giant head is next to Martina, and people are having trouble with that. Ben West, thank you for $2. Deal with it. Midnight Cherry TV, $2. Thanks for adding Nasser. His DMs were annoying. Yeah, they were. Custom Songmaker just saw a tweet. Mark Zaid has sued every president in the last 25 years. See what he has in store for Trump. Turn that wreck into a check. Junior Ruiz says back Gusto Indiegogo on its final days. Great Loner, call new Nasser good Nasser and old Nasser bad Nasser. He's just Nasser. Gojirify, can Steven explain Brutus, please? Steven, will you try your best to explain Brutus?
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'll give it a shot. Well,
give him 5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay. No.
Hang on, I will. 1 minute to explain Brutus the Badass. 1, 2, 3, go.
Brutus is the ultimate badass. It's written by Nasser and drawn by Donald. He's got a lot of muscles and veiny arms, and he's got a little robot sidekick that floats around him, and he punches people's faces off and kicks people's bodies in half and runs around town doing something. He's got a cool little haircut and some glasses and a nice little taking care of business belt buckle. He's the ultimate badass. He's a weightlifter on his spare time when he's not kicking ass. He's friends with Cyberfrog and other Comicsgate.
No, he's not. No.
He's shoot, man. This is let's see. He's got some. What did I say? He's got some Arnold Schwarzenegger esque figure and face.
And you're done. That was a struggle,
good.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, that hurt.
That was all accurate.
So, but it was mostly accurate about except the part about Cyberfrog associating with him. I mean,
Brutus doesn't have friends.
Cyberfrog doesn't. Let's see. Disco Steven is the new and improved Nasser. Steve isn't afraid to eat his butter, unlike Nasser, says GOP Gamer. Hang Solo says, can EVS and Sexual Chocolate please sing Take On Me? Gojirify, Will Martina.
I'd actually like to see that.
We did it already.
We've done stuff like that. We sing all the time, but not tonight. Gojirify says, will Martina dance with Mike's wife?
Now that I'd pay to see.
I don't know if you understand, Martina, but Mike S. Miller is an artist at Comicsgate. And let's just get your take on this since we've got you here. Mike, his wife wants to dance. She wants to take ballroom dancing, stuff like that. Mike is too lazy to do that. So he lets his wife go out and take ballroom dancing lessons with another man. What now?
And they compete. They're quite good, actually.
Mike sits home while videos end up on YouTube of his wife dancing with another man. What do you think of that? Do you think that's trouble? Do you think he should get up off his ass and learn how to dance for his wife, or what?
Was I on the stream with him last time? He has like a beautiful brunette wife.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, my first thought is if there's a guy dancing competitively with her, he's probably gay, so it's fine.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't assume that at all.
Really? If he's not gay, yeah, he should get off his butt and dance.
That's a good way to meet women. See, guys are smarter than that. Guys go, you know what? If I can dance a little bit, I'm going to meet some nice single and sometimes married women, and I'm going to get to dance with them. Now, they're going to assume I'm gay. I'm not gay. I'm going to get out there and charm the hell out of them, and who knows,
But I don't know if they're dancing competitively. Like, maybe Mike just doesn't have the je ne sais quoi, and her partner, they might have that chemistry, and it works. So.
Can I ask you a question, Martina?
Yeah.
So how would I convince my wife that I want to dance now?
How do you convince your wife that you want to dance now?
Yeah.
I'm like ballroom dancing?
Yeah.
She'll probably be cool with it.
You mean she won't believe you?
Hey, honey, you wanna do some ballroom dancing? I think that'd be cool. I'm taller than my guys, so I don't know if that would We think
Also, Mike's wife is the one that's married to the beautiful brunette. Have you seen his hair?
Mike is beautiful. You're right. Martina, where's your guy right now? Is he in the room? Because I think he was on the computer once, like right next to you.
Yeah. Last time he was behind me on the computer, but
He
I'm
probably
actually.
shouldn't come in.
No, he thinks you guys are really sweet, and you're good. You're not inappropriate and douchey like super alt-righty type things or anything.
Ew.
There's but it's 4 a.m. for us right now. I'm in London, so
Oh wow.
that's
Cool.
why I always have a hard time getting on the stream with you, because it's either in the middle of the night or during the day I miss it or something. So.
Well, we appreciate your being here. For some reason, I thought you were still in New York. So
I know I'm from New York. You're from Jersey, but I love New York. I miss New York, but I'm in London right now because the crazy girl that attacks me and harasses me every single day, she put a false tip to the FBI. I got a call from the FBI, and they were like, "Yeah, we got a tip saying that your fiance is a terrorist trying to come into the country." So that was her way of trying to ruin my life, and he is not allowed in America. So I had to come here.
Who knew the burlesque game was so serious?
I know, right?
Jeez.
I know. It's
All
crazy.
right.
Dang.
Well, back Lady Alchemy, everyone. It's up to $17,721 right now. I'd love to see it get to 18 by the end of the night. Make sure to buy your copy. Let's check in on Detective Dead Crimson Moon real quick. It was at 23,805. It is now at 24,135. So thank you.
Jeez, thanks everybody. I'm really humbled by you guys.
Asami Children of Rusu is now at 2880. He's 57% of his goal. Brutus the Badass is just plowing ahead here. $27,522 with 4 hours left. Great. I couldn't be happier. I'm so pleased, children. I'm so pleased. My little family, my little Comicsgate family. All right, let's keep going here. So Martina will dance with Mike's wife. I believe that's what was established. Jay Ishiro Finney says, long for the days when men were men, women were gorgeous, and creatures from the abyss didn't come with a trigger warning. Then back at Case File, Arkham on Indiegogo. Yeah, Jay Ishiro, I got to get you on here. That actually looks really good. Chris Abrams kicks Cecil onto the E-Train tracks at 42 kick Nasser. Okay. Stalin, there's some hostility in the super chats tonight. Stalin Falcon, thanks for $10. In Hoc Signu Vinces, got my t-shirt. I want that tarot deck, guys. Excellent. Spider-Man, not Bug Boy. Thank God Nasser can't talk. Fan Advocacy Network, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't back Lady Alchemy right now, you will be forced to watch the new SJW reboot of Charmed. Oh God, are they doing that?
Yeah, I actually did a video on that at Rebel. Yeah, there's they're obsessed with rebooting. I don't know if you guys realize this, but everything's a goddamn reboot. And I think there's two reasons for this. The first reason is they don't have any ideas. They're just like, let's reboot everything. Yay, because they can't come up with original ideas. And another thing is they want to, like, you know how they rewrite history, and like the universities and the definitions change. Definition of racism has changed somehow to be institutionalized racism. Everything's always like changing for them. So what they're doing now is like erasing these old things, and then they get to make new ones with all sorts of political correct, agendas into it. So it's kind of like rewriting it, entertainment. They're redoing Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They're making her black and having feminism a part of it somehow. They're just rebooting everything. But yeah, Charmed.
Yeah, everything's getting rebooted. Well, they're doing Charlie's Angels.
Charlie's Angels. Yep.
Yeah. All right, Big Red, thanks for $2. Martina costume dancing live stream. Make it rain. Well, that's that. She's got her own channel, so maybe she'll choose to do that. Psychotic Cognition 100. Thanks for $5. On the Ralph retort, they were speculating how funny it would be if Barron Trump had a copy of Cyberfrog. Yeah, $5. Message retracted. Thanks for the donation. The Dresden 101. Very important question, Ethan. Is there a time limit for backing these, or can I wait until I get paid Friday? I think you can wait for most of them. Brutus the Badass is ending tonight, but I think it might go into a store. So, no, there's no real time limit for any of these books that I think we're promoting tonight. But please do it anyway. Back them as soon as you possibly can. The Hostel over there says, "Eat the damn butter, Nasser." Bogus Fortune, any project with support the troops tier gets my support. Tomb Critias also donated copies of Detective Dead to the Comics Titan fundraiser for people that can't afford to buy these books. He's a cool dude. Everyone loves Critias tonight. I think everyone melted for Critias, and I don't blame them. He's a good guy. Critias, where are you from? What's your background?
I come from East New York, Brooklyn, which is like a really ghetto neighborhood, poor neighborhood.
Yeah, are you Latino? What are you?
I'm Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican. All right. Yeah, everybody wanted to know that. They were saying he's not Puerto Rican in the chat. I'm like, I think he is.
I'm Puerto Rican, but I grew up around with a lot of Italians in my teenage years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. I'm 25% Italian.
Just
And
to put it into perspective, East New York, Brooklyn in the 90s, early 90s and late 80s was like legendary as one of the most violent places in the world.
Yeah. And here he is. I mean, he's fled to Florida. Why did he move to Florida? Because he couldn't get work where he was. So he packed up his family and he moved to Florida to work with his hands, guys. And while he's doing that, he's got a big imagination. He's doing his comic book here. He's got a crime noir superhero horror book called Detective Dead Crimson Moon. He's asking for your support. He's asking for your support. Why not back Detective Dead? The link is in the description. And make that happen for our guy Critias. Make his life a little bit better. Antonio, by the way, Lady Alchemy is at $17,721 right now. Thank you for your support.
Thank you so much. Really means a lot.
It sounds better when you say it. I'm not going to say thank you anymore for you. You just go ahead. Asami Children of the Rusu, 2880. Oh, wait, is that what it is, or did it jump up again? No, it's at 2935. Steven.
Awesome.
You're cranking it, dude.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for having me on here. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I mean, we need, I'm trying to get some more fresh blood in here. Kyung Lee is great. I liked having him in. He's got a pretty cool book. By the way, he was on here with his anime book. I think he's in the chat right now. Man, he was smoking it too. I mean, everybody loved that comic. So I'm trying to get some more fresh blood in here and get some new books in front of people. Get Nasser out of here, get new people in. Just kidding, Nasser. You know that, right, Nasser?
Somewhat.
Okay. That's about right. Yeah. Nasser is, by the way, Nasser should be taking over Shadow of Vader. And that's what I think we should support. We should kind of say, nobody should take over Shadow of Vader for Chuck Wendig because Nasser's going to take over it.
Marvel couldn't afford me.
That is true.
We're throwing Nasser to the wolves.
Oh my God, Nasser doesn't care.
Does RT Bear have a link to this chat? Mike Miller is in the chat asking you to send RT Bear a link.
Well, Mike, you have the link. You can send him the link if you want to. It's like that would be okay. Let's see. Keep the camera on Martina. Thanks, everyone. That's Yellow Flash who's saying that. Liam, Sway will be showcased on Malin's channel, Mortal Enemy, this Wednesday. I'm available for other shows if anyone's interested. # We Are Comicsgate. Let's see. Galactic Comet. Thanks for $25. Hey, Ethan, here's $25 to go with the $25 last Wednesday and the $50 from September 7th. Can you bring me on the show tonight so I can pitch Galactic Comet? Don't leave Comet stranded in deep space. Thanks, man. You know what? Galactic Comet. I'm about a comet. I'm about to end tonight. So can we do it tomorrow? Can we do it tomorrow night at 9? Send me a little DM and I'll bring you on tomorrow night.
I love Mike. Ethan, by the way, Ethan, I love this. You got payola going on.
I know this is. It makes me a little uncomfortable. It is kind of payola. Is it okay?
I think it's great.
Mike Angerhauser, $1.99. Help support Black Forest on Indiegogo. Thank you. No One Nowhere. Thanks for $5. Someone needs to chronicle Comicsgate as a series. I do agree. Mark C, $2. Cecil can do the Truffle Shuffle. I'll be the one. Thanks for $10. Prediction for episode 9. Chewie will speak perfect English. Pan will recruit Ewoks. Kylo Ren will teach all the stormtroopers to be force sensitive. Yellow Flash Comics says, a guy touches my wife, he goes through a window. That's with regards to Mike, who's in the chat. By the way, I made Mike Miller, Blacklist Universe moderator, so he's got the wrench now. Jay Chimpansky, did Martina do the art for the book? Martina?
Actually, no, I'm just talking right now to my artist. That was the Maz G guy that was asking for me to talk about Judge Judy. It's my story. It's actively 100% involved in all this and the alchemy and the storyline and the character development and the promotion and everything. But my art, I can't draw actually, but my artist is like super professional artist in LA, and he's just like really good, and we have the same vibe with everything. And he would love to come on the show, and he can talk about the comic in a different way than me and talk about art with you guys and drawing. He's a big fan of you guys. He loves Doug. Actually, he said that Earthworm Jim was a big influence or something on him years back, that he really likes Doug a lot. So
Everyone likes Doug. Doug is a big influence on everyone. I agree.
Not everybody, but
Well,
Mike Miller is now 6 figures, by the way.
is he really?
Yep.
Really?
Mike Miller went 6 figures, bitch.
Yep.
Holy cow!
Congratulations.
Hold on, let me
Congrats,
finish
Mike.
super chats. Hold on, we're gonna talk about that. Great Loner says change each letter of the word mob to the next letter of the alphabet. And oh, look at that. NPC, non-playable character, is mob moved over 1 letter. Oh, that's unreal. What? Okay, so the new thing that you call SJWs is NPC for non-playable character.
Right.
He said that if you move every letter from NPC over 1 letter of the alphabet, it spells mob.
the alphabet, huh?
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Black Cap says, I'm from East New York, Critias. I know what you mean, bro.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, Lenny H says Sly Moore is Ray's grandma. All right, we got to look this up here. I can't believe it. Well, we knew it was going to happen, right?
Get him on while he's crying.
Yeah, he's going to yell at us for making fun of him and his wife again. All right, hang on a second. We got to do it. Mike, can you get in? Can you see the link?
Yeah, he's in the chat.
Mike, come onto the stream. By the way, I don't see him hitting 6 figures at all.
No, he's
He
not.
didn't
I
hit
checked
6
too.
figures. He's at 96,069.
Oh, I was looking at Graveyard Shift.
It was John Malin that hit 6 figures.
Oh,
I was like, "What? You're kidding me!" Oh my god!
Even though he's not.
Yeah, it's not at
Oh.
6. It's
It-
not. But
that
John
was-
Malin's is.
That was I didn't mean to be cruel.
That was cruel. By the way, but let's just point out that John Malin and Graveyard Shift is 6 figures, bitch. That is phenomenal. Mike Miller is not yet, but I think he will be. He's at $96,069, and it's just a matter of time. So Cecil, you were wrong. When you.
I was looking at Graveyard Shift, and I just made that announcement.
you
Sorry.
just made Mike
Yes.
cry, man.
Yeah, that is sad. All right, so let me go through everything one more time and just reintroduce everybody, and then I'm gonna get to work myself. I'm gonna stay up a little bit tonight and do a little more drawing. John Dillard, Gaming the System, thanks for $2. Support Black Emerald on Indiegogo. Brutus the Badass, #1, is ending in probably 3 hours now. It's at $27,647, guys. Back
Beautiful.
Brutus the Badass. Let's see if we can get this to 30,000. Congratulations, Donald and Nasser.
Thanks.
All right, Donald. Thank you. Asami. What the hell, dude? Every single time. I don't know why I try. I don't, guys. Oh, good Lord.
At this point, he should just say knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, Nasser's getting better. Like, Nasser really does talk a lot now. He
A little
interacts.
too much.
Yeah, a little too much. Anyway, Asami Children of the Rusu, 20. Let's update this. Did we get you to 3? We did.
Awesome.
We did.
Beautiful.
$3,035 for Stephen Hart's Asami Children of Rusu. He's now 60% of his fixed goal. I think he'll be there by tomorrow, frankly. That's what I think.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank you, Ethan.
You're quite welcome. Lady Alchemy, of course. Now it's $17,810. Martina should do like signed copies and then leave a little white spot and then put a lipstick print. That would be badass for special edition signed copies of Lady Alchemy. What do you think of that?
Yeah. I can't remember if you mentioned that last time, but I feel like I've heard that floating around. Yeah, sure, why not?
That's what they used to do.
Lip prints, you know?
Yeah, they used to do that in the 1940s and 50s. Like there'd be lipstick autographs and from the starlets, Hollywood stars, and it's goddamn cool, and they're very valuable now.
That's interesting.
I've seen one by Marilyn Monroe. Yeah, I think you should do that too, Cecil. Think about it. Anyway, Lady Alchemy graphic novel is at $17,810 right now. Somebody asked, a fellow named Giuseppe from Italy asked if they were going to be signed by Martina. The answer is yes, they are signed by Martina, and order your copy now. Brand by Antonio and Kanan White. Still plugging along at $47,873. Thank you for that. And Detective Dead Crimson Moon by everyone's friend Critias, $24,135.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, VS.
Well, my pleasure. Lone Star Heart of the Hero, $96,069. Still at 5 figures, bitch. But I think it's going to get to 6 figures, and we will party when it gets there. It definitely should be a 6 figures comic. Everyone loves Mike S. Miller, and everyone wants him to succeed, except for Nasser. I don't know why.
Nasser, you and Doug stop hanging out with each other.
Yeah. Opaque, thanks for 20. Meme magic is real. It is. Proper Jeremy, Chucky Poo blocked Proper Jeremy on Twitter. Thought we were friends, and this is how you treat me. I can't believe it. Why, Chucky Poo? Why? Gojirify, Donald, 1 beep for yes, 2 for no. Donald, you still here?
He's gone.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Anyway, did I know he left? I didn't see him leave, and I don't think he said goodbye. He just disappeared. I want to thank everyone tonight. Comicsgate Live, another big hit of a show. 2 hours, 2.5 hours. That wasn't so bad. That went by like a breeze. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Cecil. Thank you, Critias. Thank you, Antonio. Thank you, Martina, Nasser. And thank you to our new friend, Steven. And most of all, thanks to the chat. 1,565 people still watching. Amazing. Anybody want to plug anything or say goodbye before we go?
Yeah, I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat. You guys leave me speeches and continue to humble me. And I want to show you my appreciation by saying thank you. And to EVS too, thank you so much.
Quite welcome. Quite welcome. Okay, guys. We will see you tomorrow morning for the morning show, 9 a.m. 9 a.m. sharp. Me and Antonio and anyone else who wants to join us.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Cool.
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Awesome.
Thank
Good
you.
night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.